All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Market Close. We are live. It is Tuesday, January 27th. Tomorrow's going to be a big day. Tomorrow we got FOMC. We got big tech earnings with Meta, Microsoft, and Tesla. However, today we do have two earnings that are still pretty important. You got Seagate Technologies and Texas Instruments. So those earnings are going to definitely matter as we get into the day. Today's been a wild day across the board. There's a variety of different things that have happened. Rich Tech Robotics, 45% up on the day. Congratulations to anyone who's in this. I mean, just a massive, massive mover with that Microsoft partnership. This one has had a hell of a day. Still, the market cap is only 1.18 billion. So again, these small caps, their ability to run based on really important AI partnerships. That's what you get when you got Microsoft working with you. NVIDIA broke above 190 for like literally a millisecond. It touched 190, then it came right back down 189.13, but that's up 1.4% of the day. Software continues to get wrecked. Adobe down 2.6, Rubrik down 9.6. I did buy the ZETA dip, $20.08, I believe is what I got. It's at $20.09 right now. So I did buy the dip on ZETA. But that was the only thing I bought today. Silver, not a horrible recovery. That's up 2.3%. Bitmine up 5%. You got Ethereum and silver, which tend to go in opposite directions, actually going in the same direction today, which was nice to see. So you got Ethereum breaking out a little bit. Silver and gold kind of back to where they were, not fully where they were yesterday, but still getting some momentum. Bitcoin right there, trying to break above 90K. Robinhood been flat all day. Palantir been flat all day. SOFI been red to flat all day. CRM, Adobe, Trade Desk, Duolingo, all the SaaS names once again are getting hit. Grab did get up to 479. If we can get a 470 close, I'd be happy, but that's up 3.4%. You probably got some traders who are selling into the close, but a nice little move above 470, which was nice. Micron 410, that was up 5% of the day. ASML, massive move today, up another 3%. The stock is up basically 40% going into earnings, which is incredible. And it's nice to see that another semiconductor name is getting a lot of love. MP, that was up 5% of the day. USAR, that was basically flat on the day, up 0.21%. COPEX, up 2% along with silver. The big movers here were Redwire, based on that military contract they got today. That's up 30%. And then Rich Tech Robotics, again, both of these names under $5 billion in market cap, as that one, 550. I think it touched 560 today, 45% on the day. Unfortunately, the losers for today were UNH 283. It touched 280 at one point, 19.5%, was not able to get some momentum back to the upside. And the other thing that continues to get hit is Dixie, the dollar, which is probably the reason maybe silver, gold, Bitcoin, and Ethereum are running today, 96.16. I think it touched 95.50 at one point, got a little bit of bounce above 95, but this is one of the worst days for the dollar that we've had in 2026. The dollar now down about 15% from last year, 96.16, as that one continues to go lower and more hard assets continue to get bought up in the face of that, and potentially digital assets with crypto. And I think that's kind of how this day is playing out. The space names got a bid. Rocket Lab, Lunar, I think broke $20. Yeah, $20.18. That's up 10% on the day. ASTS as well. Not as big a move. Well, still pretty big, 7%. It was at 104 last time I checked, 111 right there. So space continues to get a bid. Drones got a massive bid today as well. Red Cat right there. That one up 9% on the day. Whereas Ondas, oh, by the way, I said I had to connect to the Ondas CEO. I have a pretty good connect to the Ondas CEO. So that interview will be happening. I literally just exchanged a couple emails like 20 minutes ago. It's not going to happen next week because the guy is traveling, but Eric, that's his name. He'll be on the channel. So we're going to probably make that happen in about 2 weeks, hopefully 2 weeks. And it'll be fun to have him on the channel, and we'll get to talk about Ondas. That stock right there up 8.74% on the day. IREN. Why is this stock up 13%? The reason is Anthropic. Now, this is really important for the broader AI sector. This is not the official reason, but a lot of people think Anthropic and IREN are going to be getting a deal soon, and IREN's going to be getting a pretty hefty contract potentially from either Microsoft again or Anthropic, or also Amazon, which owns a decent chunk of Anthropic. Anthropic is doubling their fundraising plans from 10 billion to 20 billion as per the Financial Times. This will value the company at 350 billion, as investor interest is now 5x the original size of the round. I mean, we've been talking about Anthropic nonstop over the past couple of days. You're just seeing more and more momentum from the enterprise workflows that Anthropic is putting out there into the world. Amazon obviously is the best proxy for this in the public markets that they own about 20%. Amazon also breaking above 240 today, 240. Wow, 244. Not too bad. 2.67% up on Amazon. All of big tech actually having a great day, which is why the S&P 500 right there at 695. But potentially a deal with IREN and Anthropic, I think, is causing that to move. Even NBIS having a great day. That's at 97.63, up 7%. And then CRWV, monster day after that NVIDIA investment. Now it's at 108 right now, but it was touching 112. Still 10% move after it reversed 7% of the 12% move yesterday. Not too bad for CRWV. So you got Meta 674, Microsoft 480, Microsoft breaking 480 for the first time in a month, Apple 258, Google 335, NVIDIA just below 190, Amazon 244. The only one that's red is Tesla. And so tomorrow's going to be really important for what happens with Tesla and Meta and Microsoft. All right, after the bell, we have Seagate and Texas Instruments. Let me put the poll right here in the chat. By the way, Trump is speaking at 4 p.m. We're not going to watch it because we have earnings, but whatever clips we get that are important from that, or is he already live? Okay, so I'll try to get as many clips soon from whatever he's saying. I think it's a speech about the economy. Which one outperforms, Seagate or Texas Instruments? But we're going to find out soon after the bell. Gold at all-time highs. That looks just about right. Let me pull it up right here. Are we above 41.50? Wow. Sorry, 51.50. Yep, 51.58 on gold. It's pretty incredible. It's pretty freaking incredible. I mean, again, for a lot of people that said yesterday was the top, it was not the top on gold, that's for sure. And silver is not that far away from where the top was yesterday, the local top. I mean, there's plenty of demand, and that demand continues to come in at a much higher level than expected. USD, again, the Dixie continuing to get hit right there, 96.20. The 10-year, let's take a look at that. 10-year is at 4.233. You're seeing more people sell off the dollars, sell off bonds, and just run into hard assets. And based on Rick Reeder, I mean, we watched a clip of him on Sunday. I was listening to it again. The dude is ready to cut rates pretty soon. And so you got to own something better than fiat currency if we're going to be cutting rates at the rate that he wants to cut rates at, which might end up being the S&P 500 with companies that have real earnings, or obviously gold and silver. Coinbase right there, that's down about 1.2%. AMD is flat. Netflix down 0.37. Again, Robinhood, it's been an ugly start to the year for Robinhood, down about 1.7% on the day. We've talked a lot about this. The volatility is just not there for this name. Same thing with Palantir. A lot of the names that had a great last year, Palantir, Hood, NVIDIA, not same Tesla. I mean, not participating to start off this year. And I also think, tech earnings haven't really happened yet. You got to give them a little bit of time, but also there is obviously a rotation that is happening into some of these high beta small cap names. The question is, after earnings, will those same names continue to get the amount of love that they've been getting? And we're going to find out pretty soon as we start out earnings. That will happen tomorrow. Dollar tumbles after Trump says not concerned with its decline. All right, there you go. Trump says he doesn't care about the dollar. The dollar starts to go down. By the way, remember that South Korea quote Trump had yesterday about tariffs? Yeah, basically Trump was like, we'll work out something with South Korea. He said that a couple hours ago. So looks like South Korea is not a concern anymore. All right, I'm getting a couple quotes right here. I don't see any stream where he's live yet, by the way. So it's hard to pull him up, but we'll see it soon after the earnings. Trump dollar is doing great. Trump isn't concerned about decline in dollar. Dollar tumbles after Trump says not concerned with its decline. Trump doesn't think dollar declined too much. Trump dollar seeking its own level, which is fair. Trump on dollar can't have it up or down like a yo-yo. Okay. Trump, the value of the dollar is great. It's doing great. Trump, Cuba will be failing very soon. All right. Well, yeah, if Trump's going to have those comments about the decline of the dollar, then obviously it's not going to be easy for this thing to maintain its value if investors are hearing that Trump doesn't care that much. A weak dollar and inflation is the chosen solution to our debt problems. This is the goal. Yeah, unfortunately. And I guess the third element to that is growth, which is why we can't shut down the government. We still have to figure out how to not have that happen over the next 5 days. But those are the different headwinds that are going back and forth with each other to frame this market. Redwire again up 28% on the day. Rich Tech Robotics up 43%. Rocklab 8650. That is up 8% on the day. All right, so who owns these two stocks that have earnings today? Let me check in the chat. 58% of you say Seagate outperforms. 43% say Texas Instruments. Let me pull up their earnings projections right here. Jason will be on for Technical Tuesday, but he is sick. And I don't think he's going to be in the office today. He has to stay home. So it's likely not going to be a 3-hour session where we get through 50 tickers. We're going to try to get through the main tickers and the overall market. But he is sick. He said he was okay this morning, so hopefully his voice is not too crazy. But he's going to try to thug it out for us and give us some of Technical Tuesday, although he is sick. His entire family, to be honest, is sick today. I told him he didn't have to do it if he didn't want to, but he really wants to come on. And so we'll try to get through TT with that. Texas Instruments, Street wants $1.29 of EPS and $4.4 billion of revenue. And then Seagate, Street wants $2.84 of EPS and they want $2.75 billion of revenue. $2.75 billion of revenue. So those are the ones that have to ultimately outperform. Now, both of these are inside of the semiconductor ecosystem. Seagate designs, manufactures, and sells data storage solutions around hard disks and solid state drives. So, I mean, I think they're associated with them. I don't know if they're necessarily a memory play the way that Micron is. How much is this stock up year to date? Seagate Technologies, 30%. I mean, it's acting like it's a memory name. 30% up. If they deliver any type of guidance the way that Micron does, or the way that Micron did, then that's going to be very freaking important for the market. And that actually, yes, Seagate is a memory play. All right. I mean, that's what it sounds like. It sounds, I mean, they might not be specifically for HBMs or something, but it looks like they are definitely playing a role in the memory space. Also, reading right here, they provide hardware systems and services for diverse needs, from consumer backups to hyperscale data centers, focusing on high capacity and reliability in the data-driven world. I mean, there's a world where they put up 100% earnings guidance. I have no idea if they would, but that's what Micron did. And that's where that one got momentum. And then Texas Instruments, most people know them for the calculator, but they market and sell over 80,000 types of analog and embedded processing semiconductor chips worldwide. Obviously, they have also played a pretty major role when it comes to this data center ecosystem. This stock, I also think, is up year to date. They compete with Western Digital. Texas Instruments up 10% year to date. Okay, so then we should be pretty bullish for Seagate then. If they're competing with Western Digital and they're a memory play, up 30% year to date. I know they've run up a lot. Price to sales of 8, PE of 34, forward PE. A little bit more expensive than Micron, but I mean, if they're even half as good as Samsung, SK Hynix, or Micron in terms of earnings guidance, feels like they're going to put up some pretty good numbers. NBIS right there, 97.94. That's up 7%. S&P looks like it's going to close above 695 as we get into it. All right, so those are the two earnings. Those are the ones that we are going to look at. After that, we'll have Technical Tuesday. And if you own any of these names, let me know in the chat. But overall, still a pretty good day. GM, American Airlines, Boeing, UPS. Where did UPS end out at? They all had pretty damn good earnings. UPS up about 0.5% on the day. The more companies that report, the more continue to beat or at least come in line with expectations, which is what we want to see into earnings season. And tomorrow is going to really start big tech. And hopefully this can continue. All right, there we go. Tuesday, January 27th, 4 p.m. Thank you, everybody, for being here. The stock market is once again closed. All right, we are closed on the day. IREN closes at 59.99. What a day for IREN, 14.57%. Webull showing 59.99. Some of you guys might have 60 on the close. That's a hell of a day. And there was no headline. I really do think this Anthropic headline might have been the reason. But IREN right there, $7 up on the day, 14.5%. NVIDIA, 188.52. Palantir was red on the day. Robinhood was red on the day. CoreWeave was up 10.7.3% on the day. NBIS up 7%. S&P 500 up 0.5%, 695, very close to 7,000. UNH has one of its worst days in history. I wonder if this was worse than when they initially started falling. Let's see if we can get the stat on that. But 19.6% down. They lost 80 billion of market cap, 282.69. And it took the Dow Jones down by about, what, 1%, as they're one of the largest holdings in the Dow Jones. Yeah, Dow Jones down about 0.8%. Kratos was up 6% on the day. Archer was up about 1% on the day. GM was up 8.7%. Rocket Lab was up 8%, got that $87 close. Rubrik down 9% on the day. Adobe down 2.4%. Grab, did we get 470? Of course, they would give us 469 at the close. 469, that was up 2.85% on the day. Ondas was up 9%. Amazon, 2.63%. CrowdStrike was up 1.72%. Aerospace, or Firefly Aerospace, that was up 16%. My goodness, the space names continue to run. CVS was down about 14%. OSS also, they got a nice contract today for $1 million. That was not too bad. That was up 4%. IONQ was up 5%. D-Wave, which had some Anduril news this morning, that was up 4%. Then you had Oscar fall below 15. That was down 5% on the day. Microsoft right there, up 2%. Texas Instruments, do we have the earnings? Do we have the earnings? Meta as well at 672, and then the Googs at 334. Texas Instruments up 2%. Up 2%. Where are these numbers? Fourth quarter revenue, 4.42 versus 4.43. That's a miss on revenue. EPS 127 versus 130. That's a miss on EPS. Stocks pumping 3%, but they missed on EPS and revenue, which might not matter that much, especially if the guidance is good. You got a double miss on earnings. Stock's up 3.4. I mean, it's always good when the stock goes up, even if there's a miss. There's got to be something else that the street is excited about. Yeah, T1 Energy, that bad boy, 12% up on the day. That one also had a massive, massive day. APLD as well, I think, also had a big move. APLD, yeah, 14%. All the data center plays had some love. All right, so that's Texas Instruments. Let me see if I can get some more specifics on their earnings. And then we have Seagate Technology, which I'm interested in if this is going to be kind of interpreted as a data center memory play. That's up 1% after hours. Don't have the numbers yet, but that should be coming soon. Let's see if we can find some more about Texas Instruments. Rubrik, I think, was down simply because of the software names being down. I mean, there was 0 headlines around software, but all those names, including Palantir, just got hit. So I think that's why Rubrik also got hit 3%. Guidance, let me see if I can find it on Texas Instruments. The guide. Okay, so free cash flow, 2.94 billion. Guidance for Q1, 4.3 to 4.6 billion. EPS 122 to 148. Q1 guidance seems to have beaten expectations. That's why the stock is moving. Seems to have beaten expectations. Yeah, 5%. There you go. Analog revenue, by the way, was up 14% year over year. That's one of the most important things from a data center perspective. Embedded processing revenue was up 8% year over year. That guidance looks pretty damn good. And if they beat that guidance next quarter, I mean, that's probably what the street's pricing in right there. So not too bad. Seagate, we still don't have yet. We should be getting in a second. But this is relatively strong for Texas Instruments. I need to get out my 1983 Ti-30 calculator and click buttons. Yes, you need to do that. I mean, honestly, that's where I know Texas Instruments from. I think that's where a lot of us know it from. Silver, wow, pumping after hours. Dude, she is not slowly going down. 112 on silver after hours. This thing got all the way down to 107. Gold's trying to push 5,200 after hours. It's at 5,180 right now. My goodness. Seagate, do we have it? Do we have it? We're red. We're red. The candle is not going up. It's going down 2%, 3%, 3.7, 3.9, 4.2, 4.48. Let's see if it reverses. 3.7 down. Why is North Korea coming out with a headline? Tested large caliber multiple rocket launcher system. We don't need a North Korean headline right now. That's like not what we need. Okay, Seagate. Wow, pretty good beat, double beat. 311 versus 283 on EPS. That's a beat by 10%. 276 versus 282. That's a beat by 2% on revenue. Beat on EPS, beat on revenue. That stock is down and not being interpreted like a Micron earnings. Guidance is what really pumped Micron, and that's what we've got to see. But there is a double beat right there. There is a double beat. Then again, it was up 30% this year. It's down 3%. Not that crazy. 283 versus 275, 311 versus 283. I mean, that's a pretty good EPS beat as well. It's not a small EPS beat. So you're seeing a little bit of momentum there. Another company that had earnings was F5 today. I don't even know what the ticker is for F5, but they also beat on the top and the bottom. Let me get their ticker real quick if anyone knows this one. F5, FFIV. This stock, $15 billion company, that's up 7%. EPS, 445 versus 365. That's a beat, 16% year over year. Beat by 22%. Revenue, 822 versus 758. That's a beat by 9%. Revenue's up 7% year over year. Seattle-based technology company specializing in application security, multi-cloud management, and network security. Okay, so cloud networking company, software play, I would imagine, right? It has to be a SaaS play. This one up 7% after hours. Dude, Texas Instruments, 8% at one point. Now it's up 5%, hit 207. This one not really slowing down. Seagate, are we still dumping? Nope, we flipped green. At least for a second, it flipped green. It's good news for the cybersecurity sector. Honestly, that might be one of the reasons a good earnings anticipation on F5 for why CrowdStrike and Fortinet were moving today. Seagate trying to go green, but still down by about 1% right here. That's why playing earnings is always tough. You would think Seagate would make a move right there, but not really. 371 is that one's hit. CrowdStrike, is that pumping after hours on this news? CrowdStrike, yeah, a little bit. About 1% after hours. Celestica, this one got hit on Monday, right? Or last Friday. Yeah, that was up 8% today. Celestica got hit by 10% last week. Arista also up 2%. This one was up more. Cloudflare got a massive upgrade today as people felt, this one was up 8%, as people felt that Anthropic and these open source AI applications are going to be using a lot of Cloudflare's guardrails and ecosystem to connect to on-edge compute. And that's why this stock has been on an absolute tear. This has been going against a lot of the software names that have been getting hit. Meta as well, moving after hours. Google moving a little bit. IREN, a little bit of red after hours, 59.79, but still pretty good. And then NVIDIA flat at 188.72. F5 is flying. We are up 10%. Does anyone own this one? Put in the chat if you own this one, as this is green. Yes, China did drop a new Kimi K2.5 AI model. There was a couple people saying that this is an open source model that actually rivals Opus 4.5, which is always the fear of AI, which is that China comes out with something open source and it's then better than the stuff that we're paying a lot of money for. But as of now, Anthropic continues to get a lot of momentum. Here is the coverage on Seagate, and then we'll keep going from there.
Numbers just crossing. Christina.
So Seagate works in the storage department, so hard disk drives. And what they posted for Q2, $3.11, quite higher than the estimate. The same thing for revenues for Q2, $2.83 billion. Initially, the stock dropped quite dramatically, but now you can see it's turning around. Q3 EPS guide, $3.40, higher than the $2.96 the street wanted. Q3 revenue guide, $2.9 billion, higher than the street wanted. Even the gross margins came in at 42.1%. Initially, I was wondering, perhaps it's just momentum trading. The stock has run up about 35% in the past year, year to date. And in the past year, it's gone up 260% because essentially Seagate and Western Digital are a duopoly in this storage market. So a lot of traders are just looking for that extra alpha, and they're going to the peripheral segments of the AI build out. And that's where storage plays a big role. So far, it's pretty strong report coming out from Seagate.
Yeah, Christina, thanks. Christina
Parsinellis,
Some would say this is a victory for a stock that has ramped so hard into earnings to maintain its gains here in the after-hour session.
Right. I mean, look, that's a fair point. I mean, Seagate ran pretty heavily. Even if Micron were to run or were to like hold on to this 400 level after a pretty good earnings, which I think everyone's expecting a good earnings with them, then that shouldn't be the worst in the world. F5 right there, 10.9%. As that one continues to go green. Texas Instruments, that's up 5%. Google 334, Applied Digital 4135, and then Meta at 672. Why was there an echo, dude? Sometimes StreamYard randomly puts on an echo when you change between the mic and the regular sound. But anyway, I think it makes sense that Seagate is not exploding, but if it can at least hold on, then that's a good thing. Seagate right there down about 1.5%. Cloudflare again up a little bit after hours. F5, that's the big winner of earnings. That's up 10.75%. And then Texas Instruments up 5%. And that is what we got for earnings. All right. I think that's pretty much it with earnings after the bell. Again, you had a lot of different names and sectors that moved pretty crazy today. Bitcoin and Ethereum actually getting a little bit of a bid. Gold and silver recovering. Space had a massive move. Software got hit pretty bad. And then these three stocks after earnings, two of them doing really well. The other one relatively flat. Tomorrow, going to be important. FOMC. I'll be live for the market open. We'll take a little break. Then we'll have FOMC. And then FOMC will transition right into big tech earnings. Jose, Neil, Tanner, and Sam will be with me for earnings. So we're all going to be analyzing Meta, Microsoft, and Tesla and taking a look at the companies that report. Also in the morning tomorrow, we have Starbucks, ASML, GE Vernova, AT&T, Progressive Insurance, and ADP. And then after hours, we have IBM, ServiceNow, Waste Management, Celestica, FICO, Lam Research, which is one of the top 10 stocks in the S&P 500, Levi's Jeans, Southwest Airlines, and then Tesla, Meta, Microsoft. So tomorrow is going to be a massive day. Massive, massive day for the earnings that we have. All right, having said that, let's get into Technical Tuesday. Again, we are going to go through as many technicals as we can. Jason is feeling a little bit under the weather, so I don't know if we're going to be able to stay for 3 hours, but we're going to try to get the major indices, major names, and then we'll try to take as many requests as we can. It is once again time to roll the intro. I want to hear your voice. How do you sound?
I was about to take a thing.
No, now you got to do it live. Now you got to do it.
No, I'm fine. I loaded up. I am loaded up, man.
Oh, he's sick. If you've been sick before, you can tell when someone.
No, I'm sick. Loaded. This is the Tussin, the Robo.
Got a little Tussin there.
Not gonna work. Right? Not gonna work. Yeah. I got the Flonase stuff. Listen, you guys, you know, Amit is over here taking days off left and right. I'm a little under the weather. I forgot to get, sleep or look, 3 hours to sleep. I've got the kid, got a sick wife. We're doing it, man. No days off.
Did the wife get you sick or did you get the wife sick?
We're not going to have that debate, but I'm pretty sure I got
definitely got the wife sick. You definitely got her sick. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into it. Well, we're happy that you're here, and we're not going to try to keep you for too long. But
no, that's fine. Just if I mute though randomly, it's because I got a cough or something.
Okay. No worries. No worries at all. Dude, let's get started with the S&P. Last week we had the Greenland thing. Seems like that reversed. Yeah, a lot of big news come in. Maybe rotation back into large caps. So I think let's get started with the S&P, and then we'll get into everything else that we got.
Let's see if it works. No days off, locked in, baby. I mean,
dude, I don't take that many days off, bro. I've taken one day off this entire month.
Oh, I know. You're late.
Literally, and that's because I was at an event for NVIDIA.
Double emergency, by the way. Double loaded emergencies.
It's good stuff. I'll get you going.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Gotta
Okay,
be.
so what do we do? So if I'm a little loopy, also, by the way, it's probably due to the meds. That's all I know. So this is our chart. Can you guys see? Okay,
Let's get a timer as well, so we try to get through.
Oh, see? Okay. Let me make this. I feel like this is a little small. That might be a little big, but okay.
Timer has taken more days off than I have all year. That is such a lie, bro.
But you know, it is good to have this second studio here at home. That does help.
Oh, this is your house? I thought you were actually at the office.
No, man.
It looks just like your regular. Doesn't it look like
that was the deal?
Huh.
He goes, huh? That was the idea.
You have the fridge in the back and the signs. It looks almost like it's
yeah. So for whatever reason, this dude, this clock doesn't work on this computer. Open the clock app. Timer. Got it.
Yeah, we'll do the Dixie, guys. We'll talk about the US dollar as well.
Oh my God, the Dixie.
The freaking Dixie. All right, let's get into it. Yep, you're
ready.
Good.
Ready, set.
We are ready.
All right. So this is our chart right here for we call it the SPOOs. If you didn't know, the SPY. The traders out there, we call this the SPOOs. So if you refer to it, it's like SP. Is it OOZ? SPOOs. But this is our prior kind of like consolidation area right in here, break, etc., so forth. This is where we are, and I have our trend count right now. So we did lose a little bit of a trend here. This, when I say a little bit, I mean this very near term little bit of a trend, like this little channel. And so we actually got a little bit of a lower low right in here. And so if you're going to be a good bear, we always say like, if you're going to be a good bull, where are the bears hiding? And so from this trend count moving forward, we have to keep this on kind of on watch, where this is the last high. And so the highest spot that a lower high can show up decidedly today. So decidedly today is like the absolute peak of where a possible lower high could show up. Because if it goes up any higher, because it's like 697, the prior peak right here, there's just no, you're probably a little concerned right now if you're bearish. That's all I can say. But that's also, I'm going to throw on our non-farm payroll stuff just because that's what I roll with. Today, this is the box that we kind of fell out of previously, and then we actually reclaimed it right in here. So this is actually from January 26th, our last non-farm payroll day. And tomorrow we get FOMC, so it could be a little wild. Today, for me, as a trader, like as an intraday trader, this is actually not a day to go long, believe it or not, just because in here, what I'm looking for full opens and closes above this 695, which is that prior NFP level here, to give me a legitimate, if I get that, we open above 695 and a third tomorrow, we hold it the whole day, we open up over 695 the following day, there's no puts. Like nobody should be in puts, or I'm not even worried about hedging at that point, because at that point, I know we're just going higher. That's it, full stop. So like for my team or my crew, anybody in my group, they know that that's the deal. Right here, right now, this moment is that the most vulnerable that the bulls can be. This is not a place to really press a brand new long, but it's more of a wait, take some profits if you got long off the lows. So congrats if you did get long off the lows. This is kind of like what we would call target acquired, and just see what happens next, which is perfect timing coming into mega cap earnings and coming into the FOMC tomorrow. I think it's a beautiful setup. It could go either way from a trade perspective. Remember, this is technicals. on Tuesday, not fundamentals on Tuesday, although sometimes we get in the weeds, but it's not investing. This is a trading hat. This is not the investing hat. So it's very short term from that perspective. So trading wise, again, though, if we have an open and hold above 259.30 tomorrow, great. Intraday, I will actually say that this 259.30, if I can make this bigger, huge. If I do huge, this is an indicator, by the way, that I think we just released it again. That is, yeah, intraday tomorrow during the speech, it's going to be that 695.30 level right here. If we break this mid speech or towards the end of the speech tomorrow, just know that we're very likely going immediately to 689.18, but that's it. At that point, it's kind of like full stop. So right now, if we do breach 695, no big deal. The next spot that I would look for is to hold the support is right in here, 689, just under 690. And that's literally where we are. It's not a bad spot to be in. It's a good spot for sure. But it's great longs. I don't know why Amit was trying to tell everybody that silver was done going up. I just, there's other things happening too. The SPOOS is looking good, constructive, but I want to give it a little bit of time to breathe.
Okay, first of all, that's not what I said. I said it feels like everything. In fact, I've been saying it feels like the buyers are relentless when it comes to silver. But no, I agree with you, dude. This is very exciting. Do you think
it's super exciting, dude?
Do you think? Last question on this, then we'll get into the other names. Do you think that if the big tech companies can deliver tomorrow, do you think that is what takes S&P over $7,000?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that, I've been, not touting, what's the word? I've been talking about this January effect thing for a while. I had
But you've been right on. The small caps have absolutely outperformed.
I had 270 as my target for that ride. We tagged it like nearly to the penny. If you don't follow me on Twitter, Amit will post my handle. Freaking follow, because I will, when I'm talking about things, I will update like where we are on the charts. We hit it to the penny. Unfortunately, we backed off pretty quickly, but not aggressively. During that kind of back and fill for IWM, which I think is just in a bit of a stalwart moment, like huge move, give it some time to breathe. We're just rebalancing again, like another broadening one more time. And last week on Tuesday, we talked about being in a situation where a lot of things could, I use the word oversold bounce. I hate using that word, but a lot of things were in a position to have like a counter trend rally, if you will. And so there are still things right now like Microsoft, Apple, who were going down, down, down. I don't know how many days in a row. And after that Tuesday, we're like, look, these are the ones that I would say, look, these look like they're in a position to have some kind of a counter trend rally. Don't short the whole, I think is exactly what we said. But sorry, I forgot to mute. But we got those bounces, and those bounces in all of these stocks also right up to resistance, kind of like Target acquired, specifically Apple. And now we just kind of wait. So it's going to be about FOMC. It's also going to be Wednesday is a big day. I don't know if you noticed intraday. I don't even have the timer going, but intraday, like the volume, the volume's like just horrendous, right? Like it was so slow, like not much moving. I mean, a couple of things moving, but at the index level, it was basically like a barcode. Like you're just like flatlining, and everybody's in kind of like wait and see mode. So from the Q's perspective, though, this one is slightly different.
Let's get into the big tech names, because I know people really care about those. Let's start with Meta. So we got Meta, Microsoft, Tesla. Yeah, where do you think it goes after earnings? I know earnings are fundamental, so it's hard to predict, but what are you thinking?
Yeah, so earnings are very much fundamental. I would say, from a technical perspective, I don't need these NFT things here on this equity. We had two things. So this was, I didn't buy this again. I took my shot over here, like just under 590s. It ends up being a higher low. I don't know, like Meta doesn't have to go anywhere for me, but eventually, do you remember this Meta thing of like, do you buy the death cross? Like if this works out one more time, like here is the death cross.
Like wow, it's right there.
Yeah, it's right here. if this works out again, I'm like, everybody needs to like immediately throw this death cross, golden cross shenanigans right into the garbage, because this is just hilarious. But anyways, 50-day crossing below, we're back up over the 20 and the 50-day. The 200-day is going to act as general like magnet support, but it can get a little whipsaw. So I think best case scenario, you know, you're up in the 720s on Meta. I think it actually has an average move of like 10% since inception, which would put this up about 7%. I actually would assume you get a little bit of pullback, but again, if you get a pullback and hold around this 630 area, that's perfectly fine. Meaning, like if I get a pullback, if I get a pullback to something like this, I mean, I think this is good. This is structure building. You're having support built right over here. I mean, you're fine. Again, for right now, and for this trend, this is not a breakout, but look, it's done going lower. It's not, I can't say that it's ready to go higher, but for right now, it's obviously done going lower.
Okay, Microsoft, what are you thinking on this one?
Max upside here is like 740. Just again, 10% average move. So that's 10%, 740.
Which would be where it was on earnings in July, roundabout.
Correct. Yeah, and get this, downside, which is just to revisit lows, is 600 anyways. So if it has a big move, 10%, nothing's actually going to happen to this chart. All right, so what was it? Microsoft?
Yeah.
Is my audio okay? It's a different mic. I'm not really.
No, you're good. You're perfect.
Okay, Microsoft. I mean, bleeding. 450 comes from here, from this swing low. I think this is, if it's not your chart, it's one of mine, because we were trading this also. But so from this swing low, we call it, to this swing high, right here is that 53, the 50% retracement right here at 453. And then that could go down all the way down to 420. But this is actually pretty good. I think, because this has a like earnings catalyst, it's like, look, if you've been short, you were doing really good in the short. Again, this is what I'm talking about. Decidedly, for sure, this is a downtrend, right? That's a there's no real, that's a downtrend. Okay, I'm good. Like double top, lower high, series of lower lows, lower low. This was the last high right here. So this could still be a rejection area. So I honestly, and it's coming right into where it broke down right before, right over here.
Would you take it before earnings at this 480?
Hell
level?
no.
No.
No shot. No, not a chance. Would I take it short? No, unless you're gambling. So Microsoft, if I take, I don't trade earnings like most people. Like, I don't do the scalpy lotto stuff. It's very, very, very rare, but I usually take it because I'm an options trader. I take advantage of options premium. So I might do something different. Microsoft doesn't move a whole lot on earnings either, though. So I'll just preface with that. It's Amazon, Google, Meta. Those are bigger movers. Microsoft and Apple, not really big movers. Well, anyways, if this can pull back a little bit ahead of earnings too, let's say even if on FOMC, like if it's a bad FOMC, if we hold 468, that's the retest of this prior high. That's what was holding before, right in here. That's going to be pretty constructive, and this whole thing ends up being liquidity grab. But this, I will have to say, is a bit wishful thinking on Microsoft, because this is still definitively in a downtrend on Microsoft. It just got a little bit of a counter trend bounce right here. It has not, if it's over, let's go 500 again and holding. All right, you're good. And that's probably going to break this downtrend, but not before.
Okay, Tessie.
Yeah,
you think
this is more in day trade mode, basically. Tessie, I have been in this camp of like, it's going to go sideways around this area. I'm definitely not changing my mind. Like Tessie's been in the, also not a big earnings mover, but Tessie's just been in a perfect spot to sell premium, honestly, on both ends. If I see 400s, that's fine. If it bounces, I'd probably be a little bit more interested. Right here, right now, this is that uptrend that it's testing. So from all of this uptrend here, we kind of breached it just slightly. 415 remains critical level from over here and from like way back when. But this is the uptrend. So you don't want to see it, like it could come back down, test 415, and hopefully it comes back up, but you don't want to see it much lower. And you definitely don't want to see it lower than that, because that is fine if it does something like that. And then we get closer to being able to say, hey, this is an actual breakout, but we're still absolutely in consolidation. No matter what happens to this chart right here on earnings, also nothing can change the trajectory of Tesla right now, because like it's not going to drop $100. A $50 drop, honestly, down here ends up probably being a buy for at least another counter trend bounce, and a $50 bounce on earnings to the upside is not a new high. So for those reasons, I think stay the course in terms of selling premiums.
I think that's fair. I mean, for Tesla, I think the optimist story, if they can just say anything good about that, that's what gets.
Yeah, but it's still going to be about how is that digested after the fact. It's not even going to be about the earnings itself.
Agreed. Let's do this one real quick. UNH, what are you thinking about this bad boy?
I've been skipping every time you ask me for UNH. I'm like, no, we're not looking at it because. Anyways, today we can look at it.
It's ugly, dude.
20%
down.
Yeah. I mean, so my issue with UNH is like, look, I think UNH is fine, but you must have a 3 to 5 year time horizon at a minimum. Like, this is not a trading stock to me. This is, and there are no such thing as 3-year leap options. So I'm like, it's not something you want to be trading options on. You can pick up equity whenever you have some free cash if you have that kind of time horizon. But that's my 2 cents. You have to be, for healthcare in general, especially anything right now, Medicare, Medicaid, sensitive. It's so much about policy. And so if you don't know when a ruling is going to come or when a tweet pops out, like this is a tweet, right? Based on policy. This is how these like stocks are going to move. And in the meantime, there's no trend here other than what we call this a kill candle, which is all the way back down to general support. If you bought it down here, 250s, I think you can just chill and not buy it until you see closer to 250. I don't know what this is from. Oh, this is an extension to the downside. Well, it ain't going down that low. That's dumb.
230 was the bottom in August. I don't know if it goes down.
No. So you don't. So the reason I'm saying 250 is because you don't want it to lose this one, like, and you don't really, that whole double bottom thing. It's not something that I look for, right? Like, you don't want to snipe that low. If you don't want this to retest, really. I just think there's a lot of other issues outside of just policy that, like, specifically for UNH, there might be some more cleanup to do. But that's going to align with this general area right over here from 2018. And that's the support area, which, this goes down to 200s. So again, my thought process here on UNH is that either if you really like it, maybe you sell some 250 puts if you see it at 250, or if you see it bouncing, maybe you can sell some put premium, but with an intention to get put the stock and actually own it, legitimately get put the stock and own it, and have a plan to hold it for 3 to 5 years, because this is going to be a long road, even with the new CEO. That's just what this looks like. For right now, trend is killed. It's back in the box. This is the bottom of the box. Does it bounce right away? There's not a single buyer in sight. Dude, if I look at this intraday,
no one came. No one came for the dip.
No one came.
Really no one.
So I legitimately do not come. Like no one came. That's sad. But aside from policy, I think there's other things you have to worry about. Do I think it's bad? No, I mean, not if your time horizon's long enough, which is all investing, but it's definitively not trading. Trading, no, you can't touch this. Not unless you see something like violently. It's going to be news related, which I'm not going to be able to see in the chart.
SOFI, we got SOFI on Friday. What are you thinking there?
Well, I know what you're thinking.
I'm thinking 29.50 minimum. I'm gonna be wrong. It'll be 22.50. It'll be so annoying.
I see both of those. What if you sold some $28 puts? How much can you get for that?
You can get a good chunk, given it's down right now.
Yeah, you sell some in the money puts if you like it for like a few months out, 3 months out, two to 3 months out.
Oh, months out? I thought you meant on Friday.
Yeah, no.
If we go to March 20th, you can get about $4. It's not that compelling, to be honest.
It's not.
Feels like $7-8 maybe.
Yeah, it's not that compelling.
I don't know, but the volatility in this name is massive, which drives all the liquidity.
It used to be massive. Oh, okay, so volatility. If I look at the chart, by the way, that I was going to say, if I look at the chart, this is, wow. This is 169 days sideways. What's the somebody in chat? Somebody in chat should know what's the IV rank of this one right here. This should be really cheap.
The IV rank was still pretty high. I remember towards the end of December, even when it was at $27, it was like in the top 10 in the entire stock market. That's why.
Right, but volatility is based on like I think it's 60-day average price of the stock, average range, standard deviation, and I'm looking at 160 days sideways move. So I'm just saying, like, that probably is cheap right now.
Correct. 19%. What people are saying.
Oh, that's dirt cheap, dude. 19%.
If Noto executes, if he
19% IVR. Yeah, some of these guys are saying 58%. We're not talking about implied volatility. Implied volatility does not matter. Period. End of story. Ever. The only thing that matters is IVR or IV rank, or how IV is trending compared to itself. Go ahead. Sorry. No.
Given you see 22 and 29, do the charts signal one way or the other, or is it's all fundamentals at this point?
If Noto is signaling what?
Now, given the chart signal to you 22 or 29, do you think the chart has anything to do with this Friday, or it's just going to be up to Noto?
Oh yeah, it's clearly waiting. It's clearly waiting. It's in a big wait mode. It looks heavy. I'll just say that it looks heavy. This is the same thing. The thing about this one is that it's just like the rest of them. Whether it's 29 or whether it's 22, it doesn't really change the story of the stock. Because like if you're at 22, you're back at support, and you're probably gonna bounce eventually, right? You're at the 200-day simple. You're back retesting the support. If it's 29, you're back at resistance. I mean, there's the box. So it's got to be I just, best case scenario, I actually think it goes sideways. But when you look at these moments and these stocks, it's like Intel. Intel, when you took your giant trade, I almost jumped in chat and I was going to be like, Amit, what could Intel possibly say right now that will move the stock higher? Look at the smirk on his face.
I was like, they're going to say Trump loves us. Like,
yeah, but is that going to actually move the stock? So it's like, what can Noto say that the market's not? Sorry, dude.
He can guide for 80 cents of EPS. That would help.
I mean,
market expecting like 60.
They did really good. They beat, right? By the way, I think it's a buy here, sub 42 if you get it. But yeah, I mean, it's just like that. It's like, what can Noto possibly say that will change the rhetoric or the story on this chart right now? I mean, NVIDIA, Jensen can say something. SOFI, I just from a straight, I'm going to claim ignorance on this chart. I just legitimately don't actually know. So maybe somebody else knows, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think if they have a good guide, and I mean, that's the most important thing. They need a good guide. Obviously, they need to talk about loan originations going higher based on rate cuts, but they can't sandbag, and that's what SoFi usually does for the fiscal year.
Yeah.
That's what they can't do. Bearded Warrior, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Amit and Jason, thanks for all you do. I took Broadcom at 315 last week from TT. It really works. I have Amazon at 220. What do you guys think about Amazon? I guess let's do that next. What do you think about Amazon?
Amazon is one of the better Mag 7s. Actually, I think if you did grab it at 220, that was a perfect level. So here's where we are. So trading range, this is a technical Tuesday. This is a technical Tuesday arrow. I think if it's not technical Tuesday arrow, it's one of mine. But this right here is where it's a trading range from here to here, as was this over here, same kind of trading range. So, they're coming in. They're coming in hot. So you're coming up to this downtrend right now. This is, as long as this holds 243, this is good. Earnings on something like this, again, they're not until February, so it's a little bit later. For Amazon right now, today, I just converted my calls to, I had calendars on, and then I bought back my short calls over here. And today, what I did is I have 260 calls for this move. So I'm long 260s over here. Like over here, and I was short something like this. This is like how I was managing it. And then during that bounce, I just basically kept it uncovered. But today I sold calls up here, 290, just in case, because we're still in this pre-earnings run, but because we're close to this near-term resistance, I want to be somewhat cautious. If we can break out of that, I'm going to be happy. But this spot right here now, again, it's another spot where like you are good. You just have to be cautious that this is a high, you have a lower high, and you have another lower high. And so again, being a good bull, I got to know where the bears might be hibernating. It's right about here, maybe a little bit higher, but it's generally right about here. So because of that, I sold some March. I sold these March 290s.
Calls, right?
I sold to open, not bought. Yeah, sold to open those, and that's fine. And even if this goes down from here, because of how I did that, I'm just not. Honestly, I can't really lose any money anymore because I've basically collected from all the calls I sold over here. I've basically already collected the price of these calls for March, and so I've sold like 1, 2, 3 of them over time. It's like I've already pulled in my cost basis doing that, but I'm not going to mess with it anymore. So that's where I'm going to leave it. And then if it does go, I'll just let that play out. But then I could potentially look at opening a new trade later.
Okay. AMD.
It gapped today. So similar. 227 was this big one. We're a little heavy. This can go either way. So I think this can pull back a little bit into 240s and still be good. There's this really big imbalance that's bothering me right over here. It's a big one. This was not earnings. Do you know what this was? Like, what was this? What was this?
What date is that?
The 22nd.
They got an analyst upgrade, like 3 of them on the same day. Oh, and Meta, I think, canceled some of their custom chip orders to buy more AMD MI 455s.
Okay. So there's a bit of an inefficiency here. So like I am a little cautious on AMD about having a potential look above here and fail. Because one, we haven't, again, you have a double top at the moment. Here, top. You don't want to lose this. Like you don't want to lose this downtrend. You can come back and retest it. It's a very touchy mouse I have over here. You can come back and retest it and then go back up. That's actually what the Microsoft chart looks like if you're going to get in the weeds on it. But you don't want to lose, this here. So that's about 240, this area. So if I'm long, I think you stay long, but with the stop below 240.
Silver. We could do SLV as the proxy. What are you thinking about this?
I think it's like 1,000, right?
Oh yeah, we could just do silver futures. Oh, it's going to 1,000. Interesting.
No.
I mean, if you want to put out $1,000 price target, we want to. Man, imagine if it happens, bro. It would be a legendary call. Legendary. Dude, that would be a 60 trillion market cap.
Fuck it. Like we're going. We're gonna do it. No, I didn't sell it. Actually, I was thinking, do you watch the gold silver ratio? Like, silver is just pumped so much. The only thing I was kind of contemplating was, do I take some silver in and swap it for gold? Or maybe do a split transaction, take some silver in, swap half of it for gold and half of it for like, you're going to laugh, copper. Because I'm thinking maybe the copper run goes, because that's still like, that can still go parabolic. But, it's almost like altcoins and Bitcoin, like gold, if they pull back, they're all going to pull back, but gold's not going to pull back nearly as much. Speaking of Bitcoin, maybe you swap it for some Bitcoin, but that's like a for sure taxable transaction. I was just wondering does anybody in the chat know if I take my silver bullion coins to a coin shop and I swap it out for gold, is that a taxable transaction? I don't know.
Hold on. If there's an arbitrage between them, it has to be.
It's a 1-to-1, right? Equal for equal. Is that a taxable transaction? Because I'm thinking if it's not a taxable transaction, I might legitimately do something like that.
Well, I will tell you, I have a friend.
I
have a friend in Florida who works heavily in the precious metals space. He texted me today. He said, I'm still trying to sell multiple seven figures of silver. Yeah. There's a 3-week wait period, and I'm getting a $22 per ounce haircut on the physical silver. So if you get a haircut on the arbitrage between silver and gold, then you might have to pay taxes at that point.
I don't know. But that was kind of like my thoughts right now. But yeah, we're at 120 or just about, stocks that go over 75, 80 go to 120. I mean, metals that go over 75, 80 go to 120. There we are. So in my mind, I was like, if I see a 150 on silver, I think I'll do it. If I see 150.
You'll sell at 150.
No, I'll swap for gold.
Well, why? What would be the logic behind it?
Because I don't need, because for sure, what's going down, whether it's dollars, gold, or silver, the worst asset of those three is the dollar. Yeah, that one's going down. So that's why I would for sure not take the dollar swap. Do I want to swap my silver for dollars? No, definitely not.
But okay, do you think from a technical perspective, this is getting stupid, or do you think the fundamentals of demand outstripping supply just matter way more, and that's the story?
I mean, I think we could see. I think we're probably seeing a squeeze of the next flavor. You know, when gold made its move, they're usually, the thing is that they're usually not short-term moves. They're usually like
multi-decade type moves.
Yeah. I was gonna say something like that, but this is 2008 to 2011. This is a couple of years, right? And we're in 2025, end of 2025 when we started breaking out. We're only a couple months in. But you know what I don't see, I see exhaustion, but exhaustion doesn't mean reversal at all. So I mean, I have 125 on this technical extension. Like it's right here at 125. I have it as a technical level. If we're over 112.5, I really like holding there. And you bring this down, look at, we're holding this box. If we're holding this here, I have 125, just over 125. End of story. So like that's where I'm at. Where this is indecision. And it could go, and just on this alone, I can see 150 right there. So
well, but what do you say to the people that say the parabolic moves, like yesterday, a lot of people said the parabolic move of silver had to signal a top. How do you respond?
I know, but like, what are their track records? Who's saying that? They're just random people saying that, right? Like,
yeah, yes.
What is true is that things get the most aggressive towards the end. Typically, generally speaking, as a general, broad kind of swath statement. At the end of rallies, things typically go parabolic. But that last parabolic move is also the biggest. Like it's the biggest. And so, you know, Micron could be, you could say the same thing about Micron. You could say the same thing about the SSD ones, right? But until I see a legitimate breakdown, I mean, it's like this on silver. If it pulls back 20%, do you really think it's a sell? Like,
no.
Exactly my point. That's
even yesterday it wasn't a sell. Yeah.
That's my point. 20% is right into support. That's $88. Is it really a sell? No. So like
Eric says, Jason, it's at 89 on the RSI 5-year.
I could give a crap about 89. As long as it's over 70, it's a buy. Over bought RSI. I always speak when I talk about RSI, but like, dude, do not use RSI for trading like ever. The best stocks that you will ever find are all over 70 and they stay over 80, over 90 for as long as you possibly can, right? The second it's below 50, that's when we're talking about, okay, you've changed the trend. Overbought, oversold, nonsense. Because look at Lululemon, whatever stock you want, like look at real stuff. And dude, stocks stay oversold, assets stay oversold, overbought for insane periods of time. And even if they blip ultra overbought or ultra oversold, you might get a bounce, right? But it's or a fade. But what we're talking about is exactly like this kind of fade. It might fade, and it's probably a buy, and then it goes back on its merry way. So, yeah, no, I'm good. But yeah, we'll see. This is my if it's below 105, I'll just say it this way. If it's below 105, we're very likely seeing that 88 level. Very likely. I don't want to see it below that. Below 88, I might run to the coin shop, but you know, only to swap some stuff out. And I'm definitely not swapping for the dollar.
Well, let's just do Bitcoin then next. I mean, what do you think's going on here? I think you were not the most excited last week about it. Do you still feel
the
same?
Yeah, no, yeah. I'm still the same way. Like it's stuck on this area. I mean, the only thing I'd say, like, if I could swap, you know, some silver, like, I'm not trying to sell, dude, your buddy, the amount, you said 7 figures of silver.
That's what he texted me today, yeah.
Dude,
but he works in precious metals, like he's like a dealer.
Okay, because I was gonna say that's a literal truck, like a literal truckload. Because silver is not that much, but it's like it's heavy,
dude. He's literally been attending a precious metals conference like every other month. Like like the entire industry is just heating up.
Yeah,
pretty quickly,
dude. The guy with the RSI, not 94 RSI. That's not how you use that. You're using it wrong. Come to the apprenticeship and you'll learn how to use it.
Didn't Palantir have over 80 RSI for all of last year or something? Like, and it kept going up.
Yeah.
So to your point, I don't think, and same with Hood, I don't think the RSI has been the best indicator.
It's just not. It's not ever. It's never been. But anyways, we don't have time to explain how it works. But the 87.5 it's okay. It's not, the thing with Bitcoin, it's not breaking down. It's resting on this general support right here. So if this is the low, last low here, you have this like higher low right now. That's what we're kind of locking in. We technically, the thing about Bitcoin is that you technically do have a series of higher highs and low and higher lows. So like Bitcoin's trend is not broken from that perspective. It's just like it's stalled out right now. So if you do get a little bit lower and you see the 70 handle on there, it's probably fine, but you might see lower. I don't know. But this is a daily chart on a very broad perspective. It is, more recently higher highs and higher lows, even with this being higher than this, although the general trend here is broken. So that's where we are. And because of that, like it's consolidation, and it might just go sideways for a while, but this would be like your gold chart where it's not gonna, even if it bounces, I just can't get excited. I can easily see a bounce to 108 or 109. I think I said last time on Bitcoin, from right here, from literally right here. But it's not really out of the weeds yet. Is that tradable? For sure, that's tradable. But it's not an investing level for me.
NVIDIA.
I don't know, man.
90.
It cannot. So last time you asked me if you were worried, if someone was worried about this, what could you do? Could you sell some calls or something? I think we talked about selling like 145 calls. And last time I think I said that I thought it could come back into these 170s, and it did not. So basically this is it's just gone sideways. So it didn't do anything. And we've kind of factored those 145s calls to sell would give you an exit price around 190. You're basically here. I think at that point you can roll those up and out if anybody was concerned about it. But if you weren't concerned about it, then you shouldn't have done it. But if you are concerned about it, this is actually still working for you. But yeah, it's sideways here. I think 200. And maybe, last time I was more worried about the people being concerned during Mag 7 earnings because NVIDIA goes last. And NVIDIA is usually a buy during, Microsoft, Meta, Google, whoever's, Amazon's earnings report because of how much they're going to say that they buy. But this year, I'm not sure, right? It's possible that the market just runs up anyways ahead of it, and then we'll see. So I could see 200 on this easy before earnings, easy day. But we're also at resistance right now, and I don't know. Honestly, dude. Honestly, I think that if this is me, I would be throwing condors on this bad boy. I'd be throwing condors, selling like 4 months out, maybe longer. It's 250 calls and probably 245 puts, dude, something like that. Because that if you can get something for that, this guy could be range bound, but yeah, 211 to 200. I think you still have the gap. It's not breaking down. It's holding, looking a little bit better, but it's waiting for something. They're waiting for these Mag 7.
Also, China. I mean, that revenue should be coming in as well.
Hey, Jensen walked that line pretty well though, right? Because he was like when they got it, and he was like, he kept saying it like very gently, let's keep the China revenue out of the forecast and make it be like a free call option. I think he said that pretty well. I was thinking for NVIDIA, just one other thing, last time I was saying, hey, if I would almost need to see a new product. I thought it was maybe memory, maybe something with the Mellanox steel, but Vera, their CPU is probably going to be the product that surprises everybody. That's not necessarily baked in, but I don't know when they're going to see that type of revenue. But if there was ever a time where somebody could legitimately displace Intel in the enterprise server builds, this is the net new workload. It could never have been AMD from that perspective in the past, because to replace your architecture like a server farm, it's a full-blown rip and replace. And that's just never going to happen on basic upgrades. But this is different. This is entirely new workloads, entirely new build-outs, that there is a opportunity for AMD and NVIDIA to really get a foothold into the data center, which just really didn't exist before.
Okay, can we do Dixie and talk a little bit about what's going on with the dollar?
He said Dixie. Bro, what is going on with the dollar? This is gross.
Oh, by the way, hold on. Before we continue, before you start your timer, let me just play this video real quick. You got Trump, who's given some analysis. The other reason it's dumping after hours is because of what he said right here.
No, I think it's great. I mean, the value of the dollar, look at the business we're doing. No, dollar's doing great. It's very interesting. If you look at China and Japan, I used to fight like hell with them because they always wanted to devalue their yen. You know that? The yen and the yuan. And they'd always want to devalue it. They devalue. And I said, not fair that you devalue, because it's hard to compete when they devalue. But they always fought, no, our dollar's very good.
Yeah, man. So this is a weekly chart of the dollar, the Dixie. No drawings, no lines, no nothing. It's a tough one, man. So in the early 2000s, we are 89. So by the way, the Dixie is not the dollar, just as an aside. What the Dixie is, it's the dollar weighted against a basket of other currencies, namely like the pounds, euros, the yen, yuan. It's not the actual dollar. But this 100 level has been a major pivot, as you can tell on the chart, for a long time. The lower end of this box, to me, is right in here. So 92s. It's not a lot, but like the trend is like we're coming down. And so I guess the implications here is, one, this is technically your debasement trade. To me, it's also like Trump not wanting to pay a whole lot of attention to this. It's also like the debt, right? The U.S. deficit. They got to pay interest and things like that. This kind of helps that scenario. So I don't know that right now that's a big concern for them. But this is kind of like that downward slope that I'll just make this red. And that's orange. Just kind of traversing. This is also inflation. So meaning like if your dollar's value go down, the things that you purchase with dollars eventually will cost more dollars, not because the things are getting more expensive, but because your dollars are worth less. So it's not that big of a deal, but this last 2 weeks is probably I mean, it's a pretty massive move. This can come down to 93 though, is my point. And it's still essentially where we've been for the last 20 years or 10 years. This is 2015. It's below that's no fun, right? And you know, largely speaking, this is where the dollar tends to live, is in this area. We're coming out of a you know, 2021 to 2022, you know, rally up to here, and now we're just kind of traversing back down to the lows. Hopefully we don't see 85, but you know, you never know. And if we do see 85, buddy, I'm definitely not selling my silver. I'm definitely not selling my silver.
And Rick Reeder, who's the new guy in charge of potentially being in charge of the Fed, he's very dovish, and if he cuts those rates, I mean, the hard assets once again, right? They catch bid most likely.
Yeah, but think about it in multiple facets. Yeah, it's probably local inflation, like at the grocery store, at the pump. Maybe he's trying to fight it at the pump, but at wherever. But if you own equities, those are also purchased with dollars, and at that point, and getting into earnings season with this situation, just this dollar situation right now for earnings reports is probably going to be a tailwind for earnings. Quite frankly. And so, like, you know, there's always a lot of FX, either, you know, profits or losses, but they call FX, that's foreign exchange, offsetting certain things. Like this coming down, if we had FX headwinds before, this is definitely going to be FX tailwinds from an earnings perspective, if it does get any lower. So you think about it in multiple facets. It's shocking for some, but you know, at the end of the day, you know, if you own things other than the dollar, this is the old saying, cash becomes trash. As long as you're growing, you don't even have to be growing, but like the things that are denominated in dollars that we purchase, including stocks, after a while, they'll probably end up going up. And then at the lows here, what happens, and the reason that we have this kind of like yo-yo, like his yo-yo, at the lows here, this is too low. And that means that it's harder for those companies to earn money.
Yeah.
And so that's the other, when you go too low, it doesn't help as much down here. But this little, you know, inside this little area is fine. All right. But no, you can't on Robinhood. You have to use, dude, just go download Thinkorswim. If I was, how come I'm not allowed to drop links in the chat?
Dude, I don't know why they only let like me send a link. I don't know why YouTube does that.
Okay,
but
well,
send me it and I'll put it in the chat. By the way, for those asking for the tickers, the document is pinned at the top of the chat, so you can see what tickers have already been done. Okay, let's start with the data centers. IREN, big ass move today. How are you thinking of this one?
I owned it.
You traded it?
No, I bought the stock, dude.
Wow, so you're in officially.
I maybe not like a lot. How do I'm gonna, since you don't have it, it's just for TradingView is free. You don't have to buy anything, but if you need a link to use something like this, TradingView is free. We talked about this. Are we still on the 5 minutes or are we on less? I can probably do this in 3 or less.
Yeah, we might as well start. We did all the big ones. Let's start rapid fire because we might.
Ooh.
Again, we're gonna try not to keep Jason for another 2 hours. Probably just 1 more hour, and then let him get back.
Am I bad? Am I doing okay? I'm feeling okay.
Great. Dude, we appreciate you doing this today.
Yeah. Mom did not. You know, when I was growing up, I was not allowed to skip school or to not attend school unless I was literally vomiting, and she would not like let me stay home. I remember one time I had the stomach flu, and she was like, "You don't have a temperature, you're not staying home. You don't have a temperature, you're not staying home." And I threw up in her car on the way to school, and she's like, "Okay, we're turning around." The one time.
Sometimes that's what you got to do, right?
I mean, bro, it was wild. So where did this come from? I think IREN, I think I have to go back to a monthly to get where this came from. Yeah, so we always look for something called a 2 to 3 candlestick setup, but this is it on a monthly 1, 2, 3. Looks like a little outlet. And this white line right here was that prior month high. That is 48.64. And this also right here. So the second we were over 48.64 and really like holding above 39. I think those two holding above 39 here, you can get to 48. Once you're over 48, then what we're talking about doing right now is really just retracing this area. And that kind of puts us around 63 as a retracement, a basic retracement. And so that's where the bears will be waiting. I think it's fairly constructive. And yeah, I think this retest, which is like right here, 49, the guys will know. Anybody in my chat knows, like when I bought this. I don't remember exactly, but I remember looking at it like this. This is probably Wednesday. Is any one of these higher, low, and then finally you have a breakout of this. So at this point, yeah, we're going over 63, and if I get over 63, then we're talking about 70s, high 70s, depending on sentiment in the market, which is a TBD. Then you're talking about triple digits, but not before then, because, you know, we'll see. This is 78. I'm not going to call it a rocket lab, but I'll say it's got vibes. It's got vibes. But we have earnings. I don't think earnings are going to really matter that much. It's got squeezy vibes. So if it can get through this, 63 is the big one. And then it's to 77. And if it really does break all-time highs, there's no question in my mind this is going triple digits. Call it 120s. But not before then. So those are things that have to happen in that order. If they don't happen in that order from here moving forward, I don't want to see any major pullbacks. So it has to work like this. If it doesn't work like that, I got to cut bait and run. But I mean, I just picked this up around $50, I think. I can find out. And
by the way, Seagate making a move after hours. Looks like they said something pretty bullish on the call. 8.3% up after hours. I imagine they probably said something about the memory stuff. I'll try to get the quote on her.
The quote was the SSD is more valuable than gold by weights. Right?
I mean, that's probably what the quote. Micron's pumping too. All right, so they said something bullish about memory. Micron 416. Micron basically all-time highs after hours.
Oh, baby. I mean, they said it was a super cycle. I didn't believe him for a while. I thought like, where's the IP in memory, right? And we had Milky over in the background, Mr. Milkman, who was saying the whole time, by the way, he was yapping about, we got to be grossly long Micron. Why aren't we long Micron? Yet he didn't buy it, but he kept saying
never buys anything.
I know, but he kept saying it. If he put his money where his mouth is, sometimes I bet you he'd be doing pretty well. But yeah, but he called. I remember him calling that. And he said, you know, if we're this bullish on NVIDIA, we have to be uber bullish on Micron before it made the run. I remember that.
Yeah, that's fair. Can we do hoodie?
They remember it too. Yeah. You know, my poor hoodie. I took a trade on hoodie and the Roblox. I had to cut both of them today. Because it just like, it is what it is. It's just not its moment. It had a really good run. I don't think the run is over, but it sure ain't happening right now, boys and girls. This little blip on the radar right here, I needed to see this get over 110. I actually posted about this. It's like 110 was resistance. It doesn't mean you have to sell this by any means, but it's not. But unless Robinhood is over 110, which it could happen to be 110 in, you know, after earnings, here's where we are. So Robinhood has the beginnings of a downtrend. channel here. So here's essentially the channel. And in this channel, the next level's at 95s, 90s, which I'm sure a lot of people are looking at. This is where we are. Until this gets out of this general channel, it's not ready to go up. And what you'll see about this right here is that Robinhood can still be in a position to have a pretty big counter trend bounce. By the way, a counter trend bounce looks like this on Robinhood. That's like 123s. It might even be higher than that if I got really in the weeds and like tried to pin this and be like ultra specific. Yeah, that could probably take me up to like 130s, almost exactly there. But yeah, for right now, it's just chilling. It's just chilling. And this is kind of the downtrend channel. Maybe it wicks down below. I don't think so. But this is the channel. Once I clean that up, it looks a little better. But even if it got up to here, which is, I actually had a trade on for this exact situation. Like if you pull up my Twitter, I have exactly that. Even if it got up to 135, it's still in a spot where I need to be more cautious than optimistic. So that's what's going on with Hoodie. I love Hoodie, long time. Will I buy more? Yeah, probably, and definitely if I see it down here. But it's got to show me a little bit more. It's got to show me more strength right now. And this little blip on the radar down here below these two, whatever you want to call them, recent lows, doesn't really sit that well with me as a technician, albeit it's close to the 200-day. But I like to buy things below the 200-day, like fairly below the 200-day. I think we play the same rules on this, Amit, where we make a pact that if we get death crosses on the hoodie of Robin's in the Robinhood, we buy it. If we get the death cross, I'll go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I also just think fundamentally, I think people are forgetting the stock is up 20x from the lows, or 15x to be specific.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to go up another 2-3x this year, especially given the valuation it's trading at and given the fact that crypto is not there. So I don't understand why it's so complicated to understand. It's up a lot, just like Palantir is up a lot, just like NVIDIA is up a lot. And taking a breather and consolidating is not a bad thing. I mean, I feel like a lot of people that are asking this either bought it at 150 or they
Maybe 120.
Zero patience on holding this long, which
I mean, no. So to be fair, like I bought this in the 120s and I think you bought a 120 before.
No, but when we bought in the 120s, we were buying momentum. And we both acknowledged, all right, we're buying momentum. If momentum dies out, it is what it is. Also, we were buying at $8, so we're okay with averaging up. But if you started a position at 140, which I think both of us were pretty clear, like, all right, now it's run. A lot more risk here. It's like just like Palantir buying at 220 after hours the day after earnings last 9 days ago. Like or NVIDIA buying at 212. It's not like those are horrible prices, but those are prices after massive runs of momentum.
Yeah.
How can you complain now?
Plus, when your target is $1 trillion market cap and $1,000 a share, do I really split hairs between 120 and 90? I don't really care.
100%. Also, when the market
really
when the market is obsessed with aerospace and defense, nuclear, memory super cycles, and space, like there's not that much, and then gold and silver, there's not that much money to go around to stuff that's already up 20x.
Yeah.
So that's my fundamental take on why this thing is relaxing. I have no problem with it relaxing, but I guess people are just expecting another 2x year, which it might not happen.
Yeah.
Like I can understand being mad at Amazon because it's done nothing for like the past 5 years.
What are you talking about? Amazon's doing great right now for us.
No, but compared to the NASDAQ,
it's about to begin.
My point is Amazon has not done what Hood's done over the past 2 years, which is why people wanted to move, but Hood has done something really remarkable.
Yeah.
So,
and then you could definitively not even have to blame Amazon the company as much as you just straight up blaming Bezos and his wife.
Yeah, that's also true.
But so there's that. I love Hoodie. I'm a 10 bagger in 10 years still. So with that perspective, I really don't care. I don't care between 120 and 90 or even 80. It does not factor for me with that time horizon.
We do bounce here.
I thought it might bounce today, and it did not.
I think it got grouped in with the SaaS names that got hit today.
I took some SaaS trades though, and they went up. What SaaS names are you talking about?
Salesforce, Adobe.
Well,
I mean,
yeah. So today they were down a little bit.
Rubrik, all those got hit.
Yeah. So this one is actually beginning to look like Hood. February, you got a couple days, so you can wait this out, but 150 is the 200-day simple. It's the same thing where like I probably wouldn't buy it unless I saw that little death cross like breathe. Where are you at on this? This one looks the same.
Same thing as Hood. They've had a massive couple of years. I could see it getting hit. However, if CARP can give us 70% fiscal year 26 guidance,
yeah,
I mean,
so you're down off the highs for sure. Your 200 days here is sitting at 154. Depending on your target and your definitively your time horizon, this is the difference between trading and investing. From a trading perspective, just on momentum, not on earnings, just on the candlesticks and the trend, I can see 150s. But that's all like one like mid 150s, 155, right in this little red box. That's where your support is, right over here. That's all I can see right now, because at that point, this is definitively support. And so if you get that and this white box here, 170s, that was support over here, right? This was your resistance. You couldn't get back. You broke down. The resistance held over here. These drawings are really bad. Let me use this other tool. So this was resistance up in here. And then you have, at the time, you had support over here. That support turned into resistance once. It flipped. That resistance up here held. But right now what's happening is that is turning into resistance. So this is, by definition, like what you would call an SR flip. If it can't get over 169, right here, 170. But if it does get back over 170, it's just that quickly that you're like, whoop, back up to 185, which means that this area, like from here to here, is a very tradable range, 175, like a $10 tradable range, but that's your consolidation range. So does it break out of there? Probably not until you're way over holding this kind of 190 area, well over that. In the meantime, this could easily turn into, who knows what they want to call it, like a big flag that, if you want to be super hopeful, eventually breaks out, but we're not there yet. Right now, we're towards the low end of that. That's where we are.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And again, if they deliver one of those big monster quarters,
yeah,
that could change the narrative. So that's fair.
Yeah, and then you could be like a red wire turn.
Dude, what a day. What a day on this one.
Let's go.
Can we do Nebius?
Nebius. I didn't look at Nebius today. I'm just gonna text you soon. I like it. Did you get the trade out?
What trade out?
The leap spread? No. Okay. Yeah. I think I did this yesterday on my stream. Nebius is fine. It can come back all the way down to 88.5 to me and actually be perfectly fine in this current like consolidation, right? So the current consolidation here is right over here. I think that's fine. It's not until it breaks out like this. This is the current trading range. So right now we're just coming down to the bottom of it. It might not even get all the way down because maybe that's where it's going to stop right now. Who knows? TBD. But this is your over 108. That's when it starts to get more interesting, not before. Over 108, I have a pretty clean trajectory higher. up over here, but 108 is resistance right now, which was the prior support from here. So this is still going to exist when you get over here. It's not until you get up and through on this area. In the meantime, you are actually actively using this as support. I have my alert to text you is not till like way down here. So
do you think it follows an IREN in terms of a move, or how are you thinking?
I think it could, but it's also not a US stock. So I don't think it's actually going to act the same. I think it has its own personality. So I also think that like getting exposure outside the US right now is not a bad thing. So I like it for both of those two reasons.
CoreWeave.
CoreWeave. Are we going to talk about Corning?
With Meta?
Sure. In general.
You're talking about the deal they have with Meta, right?
Yeah, but
we could do that stock if you want to do that.
But it's more than that. So okay, so here, this is from this breakdown. Actually, I should probably move this up a little bit. I know it's not one that you typically cover, Corning, but
no, we can cover it. Yeah, there was a big deal today, so we can cover it after.
Yeah, I think it's important to understand. So over 108.50, this was resistance up in here before. Here, sorry, 91s. It broke through, held higher low. This is at this point, this is definitely on the mend. You would still the way that Jensen talked about CoreWeave though was just like, you guys are right. That's his baby.
Dude, he
like,
loves
he was like, it's not going to be a small company. This, that, and the other. I'm like, whoa, dude. All right. So if it can get through 108.50, which it actually closed right over today, I can see 120 is in actually very short order. So I think you keep this on an active watch right here, right now. Because if it holds this, I think you could get to 120. At 120, though, just know this is the prevailing downtrend. You know, that's a downtrend. And so if you can get up there, what you basically want to see is you're going to expect some kind of hesitation. You can even see a little blip. But if that downtrend starts to hold as support here, that's getting better. This is eventually 130s. So Jose's wife might let him sleep in the bedroom in a couple weeks, maybe. He might be able to get out of the doghouse. I don't know. We're praying for you, Jose. So I can say. But it looks good. It's on the mend. It's still very possibly a counter trend bounce into 120. That's why I'm saying be very cautious at 120.
Okay. Texas Instruments, by the way, up 8% after hours. Seagate is up another 9% after hours. Micron and SanDisk are pumping. I mean, again,
another 9. This is going higher too, huh? Oh, I'm sick.
Do we just all have to accept Micron's going to $500?
Let's talk about
this. We just have to accept it, right?
I'm trying to tell you what the next one is, buddy.
All right, tell us. Go ahead.
I'm all yelling at him. All right, one of my crew, if you're in the chat, say something, but like, has been on this trade for like the last 6 months and raked in a solid 200K today on this one trade, and it's still going. I was just like so happy for this guy. But the idea, you know, I'm long Freeport FCX, right? The copper stuff. And, you know, we are in a generational data center build out, net new workload deployment, you know, and when you think about data centers as a whole, you think about data and the transport layers within data. What does data move across? Well, data travels through Ethernet cables, right? Normally, and which are made of copper, which is the real, like, to me, super bullish copper. But the faster cables are fiber. And the deal is Corning, your glass, this fiber optics. And that was the deal here. So your Amphenol, your Corning specifically for fiber. I think fiber is your next play in general. So I don't know who the other fiber player is. Maybe it's Credo. No, it's not. I don't know who the other one is. I know I have Amphenol, which is just never sell. But GLW, it's fiber. And yeah, okay. So GLW and Amphenol. These are the two. This is it, right? So if we're in this AI build out, this generational data center build out for AI, do you know F5, right? F5 today reported just a little bit ago. Yeah. I don't know if people know what they do, but they're CDN, content delivery network. You think of Fastly, whatever, but that's serving the data to the endpoint. And the endpoint now is like all over the place, to the consumer, to the people, not the data center. It's like, so it's like, it's more edge build out, more all of that. This is the asphalt of the data center road that's being built. It's literally like buying asphalt, like investing in the asphalt company before they pave the roads. Like that's what this is. And so if you think picks and shovels are picks and shovels, this is like LRCX, like a tooling company. Like what's your box company? Amcor. Packaging. Yeah. It's like you don't have to pick the winner, but somebody like this is gonna win no matter what happens.
Right.
So it's not about Meta. Meta would be one of many.
Okay, so do you think it's at a 95 billion market cap? I mean, how do you think? Do you have any fundamental thoughts on it, or?
Until a couple of years ago, this was not even it was not even in the stock, right? So right now I have to 123, right? Like down in here, this is a glass company, right? $50. This is a glass company, but this is, this has been running like crazy, but it's just now really, we have to see earnings. So earnings are on the 28th, which is tomorrow. So I'm not saying to go long Corning today, but
they have earnings tomorrow. Huh.
Yeah. So this is a big watch, right? Whatever they say about tomorrow. Look, Meta announced a deal. Do we really think that Meta is the only one that's going to have a deal like this? How many data centers are being built? I don't know. It's just food for thought.
Their volume today was 25 million. The average volume is 4 million.
It was disgusting. You think people sometimes things like this, you don't fade some things like this. There's this thing called a gap and go from technicals. You got to wait till earnings. Big, massive move today. You're already at an average weekly range. If this pulls back and holds around 100, right, or maybe just around 100, I think that's a nice, solid number that a lot of people would be fine with, because it only came up off of 95. This stock does not move that much, right? And to your point, is quadruple the volume it normally is, but this stock is not a big mover. Can it continue? Yeah, I see like 123. It's not like something that's typically going to explode in your face. But if the characteristics of this change entirely, you want to pay attention to this if this actually continues, because it could get completely out of hand like a Micron.
And you're saying this is primarily based on fiber as like the core mechanism by which they distribute.
Yeah, fiber is way faster than Ethernet. Way faster, and it's thinner. And so like when you cable data centers, so that's where I come from. Like we used to like wire up data. I didn't wire, but we would sell data center integrations, blah, 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 blah. The new Ethernet, it's fiber, right? It's like a fifth of the size of an Ethernet cable and faster. It's more expensive, but if you need a lot more data transport layers, like you would go fiber over Ethernet if you could.
Right.
Copper being replaced with glass. Yeah, I think it's very real.
We'll put it on the list. Definitely a good one to.
Yeah, they're saying they got it. The chat has it. High speed data transfer needs more fiber. Yeah.
The thing about this is it is, whether it's Micron, SanDisk, Seagate, maybe Corning, like the way the data center gets built, I mean, Amcor is up 20% this year, is more important than the data center itself in terms of alpha in these stocks.
It's so hard too to pick like the winner, right? And like if you want to be like top dog, it's like it's just not necessary sometimes because these are still like really good. And it's like something like this is just now, I think, to your point, at 90 billion, you can run the math, 94 billion. I'm not saying it's going to 10x, but it's a day like today tells you that the market, a day and a move like today, what you should read out of this moment is that the market wasn't pricing in the fiber kind of concept and Corning's kind of like place in that.
I want to talk about
AT&T does not make fiber. Like they resell fiber.
I want to talk about your long on copper. And before we get into that, we have Coinbase CEO saying you can now trade copper and platinum futures on Coinbase. Is that the top or is this bullish? I mean, what do you think?
Like the chat is like, okay, it's not a transport layer. You're probably like, maybe it's not glass. No, it's not glass. But it's bullish as hell. But I know like when we would choose like cables and stuff like that in the data center, the fiber cables they're like two, you know how thick an Ethernet cable is, right? Have you ever been to a data center? Like actually walked into a data center?
No.
Oh, bro, you need to come and we should get you a tour of some data centers or something. We could probably figure that out. But like, you know how thick an Ethernet cable is, right?
Yeah, I mean,
it's like a pencil thick, maybe, like a pretty thin, a pencil thick. Like a fiber cable is like if you took the ink out of a pen. Yeah, this is about. It took the ink out of a pen. It's like the ink thick. It's super thin comparatively, and you can run them a lot better, a lot cleaner.
Okay, so copper, what are you thinking about that?
Well, specifically FCX is my trade.
But you're on this trade because you think copper is going higher, right? Otherwise,
this is like look, copper's made a good run, but this is FCX specifically is they mine more than copper, but it's like, do you remember GDX? Do you know what GDX is?
The gold miner ETF, right?
Yeah. So GDX was stagnant, stalled for a very long time. This is March 2025. March 2020, I'm sorry, let's call it December 2024, right in here. GDX had gone nowhere, even at 46, 45, May 2025. That's GDX. These guys mine gold, right? Okay, so let's look at gold. Gold had moved. This is gold over here. It had already moved a massive amount. It was a catch-up trade, right? So it's not that copper, and now that gold's going parabolic. Look at this GDX chart, bro. Bro.
No, but that's also because gold made the move. I feel like you have to believe copper makes it.
The thing is, it's not. So what I'm saying is that gold had already made the move, and the miners were not moving at all. That's what was going on. Gold was over here. Gold was like already. Gold was already up here, down here, but the miners had not moved. So this is it. Like this is 2020, early 2025, right? Gold's been on a rally for how long? It had already broken out from over here. This is already like $250 an ounce. It was already well on its way of breaking out of that massive cup and handle, whatever. This is 2023, 2024. We're talking that the miners didn't start moving until here. That's when the miners started moving. Copper's kind of in a similar situation, but when I pull this FCX chart back, this hasn't moved. Like,
that's a fair point. No, it's fair.
This hasn't moved. So it's a bit of a catch-up trade from that perspective. This has not made new highs. And over here at 56, it just reported earnings. It pulled a little bit back, and now it's back on the run. But this 55 was like, okay, this is your breakout time. It's a slower mover, But the point is that this has not made the move. I think today is nearly an all-time high just now. Yeah, it's barely an equal high, 63, 67. It's not moved. What's the copper futures? I never remember the copper futures ticker. Somebody know?
It is. What is this?
This is CFDs. I don't know. I don't see CFDs. I mean, XCU. HG. I think they're HG.
Yeah, HG6.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
So copper, if we know silver is going parabolic and legit, like data centers are made out of a lot of copper, a lot more copper than silver. I don't see silver cables.
And EVs and the electric grid. There's a lot of stuff.
This is also just starting. So the other thought I had was like, I forgot to hit the timer. I'm sorry, dude. So we can move on after this. In my mind, I was kind of thinking, do I take that? Oh, I said, do I take some silver and swap it for half gold and half copper? So I'd be like, if copper goes next, I mean, this is, if this cracks 7, going over $1. But anyways, all right, let's move on from the metals.
But you're bullish copper, like
yeah, I'm bullish copper.
I've been doing a lot more research on it. I'm trying to compile it together as well.
It's silver always has a little bit of industrial use, but copper is very much industrial. And I think if we're from a lot of different perspectives, if we're going 4-point-something GDP and a generational data center build out, plus EVs, plus this, plus that, this copper is good. Dr. Copper.
I'm just afraid if silver tops, as you said, it's like Bitcoin topping, all the old coins die. Like that's my only fear on this.
Yeah, I mean, they will all come down at the same time.
But if the dollar keeps going down, then they're
if the dollar keeps going down, I ain't swapping these for paper. I mean, I might paper the commodity, but dude, is there going to be a point in time where the paper bills that we print on are worth more than dollar bills?
Yeah. Real quick, Seagate CEO, our nearline capacity is fully allocated through calendar year 2026, and we expect to begin accepting orders for the first half of 2027. Multiple cloud customers are discussing their demand growth projections for calendar year 2028, underscoring that supply assurance remains their highest priority. Basically, he's saying everyone's booked for the next couple of years.
I've been saving this Dr. Pepper in this fridge for a long time. I know I'm sick. It's bad to drink Dr. Pepper. I'm doing it, dude. I'm doing it. I have one. I'm doing it. Hey,
whatever keeps your energy.
Nothing like a good old fashioned.
I haven't had a Dr. Pepper in I don't know.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like this is my son now. When he takes a drink of water, he finishes his drink of water with that good big old. I'm like, dude, nice.
All right, let's do Zeta. Let's do this one.
Zeta. Yeah, I'm doing all right though, right?
No, you're doing great.
Look,
you're doing great.
See, next time Amit tries to take a day off, guys, be like,
no, I was trying to be considerate. I was like, dude, if you're sick, then it's okay.
KDP.
To be honest, people would have been so mad though if we didn't have.
No, I think we outlined this last time. Here we are, Zeta. So I think Zeta falls in I mentioned this earlier, but if we're in the moment of this last week, I think that IWM and the January effect kind of target acquired, and that starts to peel out and not peel out, that's the wrong word, but like pull back and reallocate some funds to the Mag 7. Well, Zeta falls in that bucket. It always fell in that bucket. So I think that's what you're seeing here is maybe just a little rotation back into some mags ahead of their earnings. And quite frankly, I think that we're about to go back to the IWM in a little bit, because once this Mag 7 stuff is done, look, I think it's pretty much done for now, actually. And then the money will ideally go back into IWM for another run. The January effect starts in January, or starts in like October, but like it goes through March. So I don't think the IWM is actually done. And I think that This does fall in that category. So anywhere between here, as close to 19 as you can, I think is what you want to see it hold. Intraday, like intra-week, whatever, if you want to call this, get this. If you want to call this a head and shoulders, your neckline of that is right over here, like on just underneath 20 bucks. Remember Bloom Energy? And I was like, this is definitively head and shoulders, like clear as day. And then like right after that, I'm like, the most bullish setup is a failed bearish pattern. So I'm going to say the same thing here one more time, is that if this doesn't break down, meaning if it doesn't get below 19, this is very bullish because the bears can't hold it down. But not before then. So you can let it like chill for a little bit. This can bounce up to 20. I think around 19 or as close to 19. ZETA ain't BE. It might not be, but it had nothing to do with Bloom Energy actually. That situation, a failed head and shoulders, I say that because it happens all the time. I mean, all the time. And you guys have probably seen 100 of them over the last couple of years of doing Technical Tuesdays. So I think, also here's your prior downtrend. Even if this does come down and like blips down there, that's just a retest of that prior downtrend. I wouldn't short this unless you're below 18.
Yeah, I agree. Let's do Bloom. What do you think about this one? And some of the other energy names.
I know, but I think power is everything in general. Bloom's not my power play, but after you said that, what you said about them and Quanta, it just makes me think, second guess it. Like, I don't know. But yeah, and this had it here. Like clear as day, it was there. You've made a new high. I think you're back in here. Like, this probably goes. Nothing really changes on this. This level is 180s. So they have earnings coming soon-ish. What is that? That's on the 5th of February. So you might get another press. I wouldn't expect to get too far into the 180s if you did, but that's still 30 bucks from here if it breaks this little triple top up there. But I think it looks like it's going to.
Yeah, and it ran with T1 Energy and a lot of those other energy names. So they kind of all move in a bucket.
I haven't looked at this one.
This one, I'm doing some research on this one. Oh,
Blue.
TE. I think it's cheap. I think it's actually really cheap.
What do they do?
They do energy.
What kind of energy? You said you were just researching it.
I only looked at the numbers, not the actual company yet.
Yeah.
Are these guys solar guys? I think TE is.
You like solar?
No, but they're not just solar. They're solar modules and battery storage solutions. I think the battery storage part is the bigger element. But they're trying to get like 4 times sales. Like that's not super expensive.
Hey, you remember this? You have no idea what this is, do you?
We looked at this a while ago, right?
All right, in the chat, who knows Array?
We haven't looked at this in a minute.
Dude, this is old school. I mean, it's Enphase at its glory days of school, I guess.
Oh, yes. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
This was going to be the next Enphase.
I remember
I know. I'm seeing a lot more solar panels going up in my neighborhood. Although if your electricity bill for like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Willow Glen is going to probably be $700 a month anyways. So why not have more solar panels go up?
Can we do Rich Tech Robotics?
What is the ticker?
RR. 45% today on a Microsoft deal. $1 billion market cap.
$1 billion. Not bad. So 580s is like for sure. So you have a little bit more. And if you can get over, I'd say 6.5, then you got something big on your hands, but not yet. Right now, you're still counter trend bounce. That's what you are. And it's not unless you're really over that 6.5 and trending that I could say, okay, 10s, 12s up in here, which means that this is where a counter trend bounce could stop right around just under 6. But if you get over 6.5, then you're talking about that being an extension. 6.5 comes from here. Sorry, my ginormous arrow.
I wonder, so on a day like this where Microsoft partnership up 45%, typically, do you think that momentum continues the day after, or it's tough?
Say it again.
So
I was distracted by the guy that said this guy is always wrong, and I was kind of laughing to myself. Okay, bro.
After a stock goes up 50% in a day on a good partnership, like fundamentally, not on some meme news, the next day, do you think, what do we look for the next day?
Typically, you look for a retracement like half, like depending on half. Like so this stuff 480 is what you look at, specifically 480. But like in this of just this day, oh look at this, I have confluence. So you look for a pullback to hold. I'd say in between 480 and just measured move, pull back half here, right in there, and then you can pull this to the left. So when in doubt, zoom out, and then use that. When in doubt, zoom out, and then look left. And so I can draw this, look left. This was that prior resistance. If this pulls back to here, and that prior resistance turns into support, that's what that looks like. So you're looking for this prior resistance to act as support in the future.
Okay. Rock Lab, what are you thinking here?
I mean, the guy who's always wrong definitely didn't snipe this. That's for sure. But anyways, people love TA, dude. They love to knock. Yeah, so the lava rockets.
People are saying it's topping. What would you say around that?
It's heavy. I didn't get my it got really close, but it's the same thing. Like if you're looking at any chart, so what do you want to look at? You want to look at where was the prior high? This was the prior high before this, right? And then this was the prior low before this. So I'm just gonna if I just draw that, see how this was a breakdown over here. It happens to hold right here. If we're going to do the same thing, if I'm going to grab this top right there and I draw a line straight across, what's that look like? It looks pretty good. This is what I actually want to see. So if this general area holds, which was resistance, right? Over here, there's no real question that that's resistance. That was resistance. It broke out of resistance. We would call this a breakout retest of said resistance. So that's what I see. I don't think it's done.
So it doesn't look toppy. It looks like a consolidated.
It looks like exhaustion. It was a little bit exhaustion. And so like, look, a massive move, dude. Massive move. Expect sideways action, which can be slightly lower, but not like a breakdown. It's not going to be a break. For this to break down, you have to be below 70. I don't have that, right? Because this is the last low. If this is the last low, like, can this go in a very near-term downtrend? Again, time horizon is everything, right? So what time frame are you talking about? Whoever's saying that it's done. Kind of chop in this downtrend channel to 73 for sure it can, right? And then continue on its merry way. But the second that this like general area here breaks, you better close that short because she's gonna go back up eventually. But right now it's it's one lower high. You're probably going to get another lower high, and maybe it comes back down to this area. If I got a little bit of worst case scenario confluence, yeah, the 50% from the swing low to this swing high is 68. That's the bottom. That'd be 68. That's bad. You expect a little bit of a bounce. And if it can't break this downtrend, whatever it ends up being, and if it does lose 68, you'd be looking at that, which is the next buy spot. This is all trading. This is buy for sure.
CCJ.
But does it get there? I don't have a reason to think that it gets there right now. CCJ, Chemical.
Yeah.
Uranium. I mean, we're going. If it's
uranium,
it's like this. If it's on the periodic table, it's a buy. Am I right?
I mean, basically, right? If it's on the periodic table. But can we buy meth? Is meth on the periodic table?
Is what?
Is meth on the periodic table?
No, dude.
I was thinking Breaking Bad. I'm like,
hey, pull up a periodic table really quick and like find a really weird, symbol that we don't talk about. But it is like that. If it is on the periodic table, it is a buy. There's a lot of options there.
What, AU? That's worked.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Any of those things. Magnesium, lithium, buy. Buy. It's all a buy. If it's
hydrogen,
on,
that's
buy.
Helium. I mean,
buy.
What are these words, bro? Californium? That's a thing.
They're
uranium?
all buy.
Oh,
they're
uranium. There you go. CCJ.
They're all buys. Aluminium.
Why'd you say it like that?
Chromium. It's a buy.
Okay, so this is a uranium proxy. It's a buy.
Yeah, well, like I said, if it's on the periodic table, it's a buy. And it's not a joke. I mean, it's funny, but it's also true. Anything on that is your debasement trade. Or whatever. Did you know that? You didn't know that? I don't know if you knew that or not.
You're right. The periodic table is the answer to debasements. I agree with you.
Yeah. So we are happy with that.
No, but seriously, do you think uranium, like, are you looking at uranium at all or no?
I really think it's all the picks and shovels and it's very much power. Do I think that the uranium, like the nuclear power is real? I think it's all about power and it's almost, like plug. We talked about this way back then, depending on the administration and the laws around it and whatever happens, it's probably real, but does it come to fruition within this decade? Probably not. But will that stop it from going up in the near term? No. And from a debasement perspective, it's on the periodic table. If uranium itself goes up, it doesn't matter. That then Cameco is gonna do well.
Yeah. Yeah, they also own 40.
Cameco, really? Westinghouse is power now, isn't it?
Dude, Oklo got a 140 price target today, and the analyst was just like, if you need a nuclear proxy, buy Oklo. I mean, I do think eventually these things end up playing out.
Yeah, GEV goes to 1,000. I mean, PWR, it's just like, I probably shouldn't have sold anything. I actually bought some back and it was fucking whatever. Yeah, I just.
Well, what do you think of EOSC? Have you looked at that one?
Yeah, well, technically speaking, I think that this is probably tomorrow a buy, or maybe tonight. So, like,
dude, you know one thing that I want to do
is this area right here. Watch, boom. So this was all support over here, right? I just don't like, it gets really wonky below this area, below whatever that is, 14. But in this moment here now, that's cool. I like it. I think I did this one on Monday, and then let me take this from here to here. Base. Oh, boom, there it is. Right. So this was resistance from over a different one, but here is this from this. Yeah. So I said tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
It's as close to 14 as you can, but this is probably good enough.
Centrus Energy, you like that one? LEU.
LEU.
It's another nuclear play.
I don't know. So mine is NNE.
Oh, that's another one. Yeah.
Or UEC. This is 19 right now. Oh, bro, UEC. That looks good. That looks good.
Decent, right? Yeah, that looks actually really decent.
Really good.
I didn't even look at this stock today, but VG, can we do that? I didn't even know it was down today.
But
you're out of the trade.
Yeah. But of a trade, but doesn't mean I can't get back in for the next trade, which would be around 8. So we always do this. It's like between those SMAs and kind of like ping pong. This is now going to be consolidation for a bit. And it's a big range of consolidation. So you have this massive breakout. And if you're going to see support, this was prior resistance right here, right? So this looks like a big short in the meantime. It's not big short, but like from 10, 11 bucks. That's a big win, first of all. But to expect it to go, that's like hoodie in like in like record time. So expect a pullback, and let's do it 2 ways. So one, this was that prior resistance over here. You want to draw that forward, see where does it go. We're below that now, so it's definitely in the midst of a pullback. What does this pullback look like from here to here? Yeah, it looks like sub 8 right in here, which is this lower support, and this being as volatile as it has now become. Yeah, that's your next spot.
All right, let's do like 5 more, then we'll get Jason out of here. Ondas, what do you think about that one? This one is
meeting with somebody.
What do you say?
Did I hear you say you're going to meet with somebody on this? Or the CEO?
Yeah, I will likely have the CEO on the show. Nice. Probably in like 2 weeks. But I didn't realize how much people love this company.
It's a bit of a cult stock. For sure.
But it does feel like, I mean, I read a couple of research reports on it today. I mean, it's expensive, but I don't know, maybe there's some real
Kratos reports tomorrow, right?
Yes, I think so.
So watch Kratos. Redwire got another deal. I think this is, as we get into these drone names, it's like when you talk to the CEO, kind of like if you could poke around to see what kind of relationships they're building in government and stuff like that. Like if they go there, I don't know. But if these companies go in that direction, I think that's what is rewarding them. And the higher tier supplier they can become, just like Palantir in its early days when it was climbing the ladder within the government RFP system. But this is that retest of that 1165 here. I think it's fine. It can actually still come in a little bit. You really want to see it hold this like 12 area. It's this guy right here. You want to see that hold. Otherwise, this becomes a look above and fill, and you could see 9s. But the first target here was acquired. Yeah, if it fails sub 11.5, it is 9s for the next kind of support level. But otherwise, what you want to do is you want to see this trend here, this near-term trend. break, which we're not breaking out of yet. So you'd want to see this up over 13 in strength, and then you're definitely going to 16. You're possibly going to 18.5, but not before.
Okay, AppLovin. Are you interested in buying this one at all?
I'm waiting for you to tell us. Okay, do it. Do it.
Dude, I don't. The short report. People told me the short report is bullshit, but like, I don't know if it's actually BS or not. It probably is, but
why is it going to be TTD 2.0?
No, I doubt it's TTD 2.0.
That's a broken ass stock. Yeah, so this was general support here. It's still holding. The thing is, this has got to get over, like, you know, over here is where they were buying before. So if I draw that across, like that's, what is that? That is like 5. 6, no way. I did that wrong. 565. If it was over 565, I think we're better. But it's coming back up. It's off the low end of support, and it's coming back up into intermediate resistance. If it can break through that, cool. Then you're going to bounce back up again. But otherwise, I would be kind of concerned about this not really getting off the ground. It's not super bullish. There's not a lot of buyers, basically, is what I'm saying. It's a very small counter trend. We would call this like a bear flag look. So this looks like it's what it's called. I would call it bear flaggy. It looks more like a bear flag than anything right now. And that would look like this. And if this kept bouncing like that and eventually broke down, that's what I would be concerned about. But over 575, 580, this general area, if it actually gets over there, I think it can rally into that. But does it rally out of that? I don't know.
Okay. We got about 3 more. APLD. This one had a big day.
You did. You're out. So next move is in the 50s. If it can hold this. So it can consolidate a little bit more up in here, but you just really don't want to see it below 38s. So you don't want to see it below this thing right here. Like, it's okay to come into it, but if it gets below 38, that's not going to be fun.
Yeah, I don't think there was a headline on this, guys, today. I think it was just following that event. Cypher, the same, all of them.
Oh.
Yeah, the entire data center thematic today. Yeah, Cypher
hasn't got it yet. Cypher is really like muted. He's kind of play catch up though, right?
Yeah. Well, Cypher was up 13% today. But yes, you're right. Like the past couple of months, it's muted.
Yeah, so maybe Cypher would be next. They kind of take turns.
Yeah. Hymns.
Bro.
Dude, no one likes this stock anymore.
I thought we took it off the list. Are we?
Oh,
are there stocks that you take off the list? Do you ever do that? Do you delete from your watch list? It just stays forever.
I mean, maybe we forget about it. Yeah, sometimes we just forget about it. But
I mean, this trend is definitely broken here. There's no question. And so because of that, you'd have to go from like inception lows, which I think is what I did. And that takes you not much lower to 27s. But if this loses that, it's really bad. If that loses that, it's a single digit. Low double digit stock if it loses 27s.
Netflix.
It's not a buy.
You don't. I mean, dude, it's at its lowest valuation for over the past 3 years. I feel like if you were going to buy it, I get the chart, but is it going below 80? Like,
yeah, I know when to buy it,
but it's already down from 130.
What does that matter?
I'm just saying, at some point, like Warner Brothers, like I don't know if it's really given us 70 or 75 as people are thinking.
Okay. Well, again, time horizon matters, right? So, like, if you're gonna be in Netflix, here we talked about this early on, that Netflix at this point had basically told everyone and broadcasted that they're gonna be in an investment phase, and so at this point, you had to just make your decision. Do you want to ride it out with whenever a stock goes into an investment phase? It's not a growth phase. It means that their expenses are going up. They're going to struggle for a little while to find the new, lever growth cylinder. And until they find it, it's not going to do well. It pulls back. So that's where Netflix is. Doesn't mean it's going to break or that it's a broken company by any means. Does not mean that. But it means that you have to decide as an investor, am I also going to go into an investment phase with Netflix and wait till Amit gets his hot tub stream set up and finally does the Netflix After Dark, Netflix XXX, whatever, and they can find that next growth cylinder. But once they did, look, they're going that route, by the way. Have you seen this? There's a lot of live streaming going on in Netflix. They talked about it last quarter that they didn't have the live streaming stuff, so this quarter might be better, but they didn't have a lot of Netflix branded content, which means that they had to outsource a lot of content last quarter, and that meant a little bit less revenue from them or profit from them because they have to pay licensing fees or whatever, hence the Warner Brothers acquisition. But I don't think that's necessarily a growth thing. It's like it's a more efficient, it's an efficiency lever that they're going to pull, not necessarily a growth lever. I think if they can become like a YouTube and have actual content creators on their platform doing stuff, that's with the Netflix brand. Like, who's the guy, the engineer guy that they have on now?
Engineering guy, I mean.
Yeah. The engineering guy.
Mark Rober?
Right, Mark Rober. Yeah. Like Mark Rober is now on Netflix. You got all these sportscasters on Netflix. Grinder Meetup live on Netflix. Yeah, it's like what those are Netflix branded things now, which that's better for them. So I'm seeing a little bit more of that, but it's still a longer road to trudge. I think that's the right direction though to see them going.
All right. Last two for you, Kratos, because that's tomorrow.
Oh yeah, Kratos was I did this on Monday, so if anybody watches our Monday stream, Kratos was a buy. It was beautiful. I mean, picture perfect retest of right here just the other day. And so do you ever wonder what a breakout retest is that doesn't end up being like a look above and fail? That's what you want to see right there. That said, earnings coming. Did they push earnings out?
Did they?
TradingView is horrible with earnings dates.
Earnings is tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. No, it's not.
Is it not? Maybe you're right. Hold on. Why is everyone saying it's tomorrow?
Let's say pull it up.
I actually don't have a date for it. I thought it was tomorrow morning.
No.
Feb 19. Oh, why are you guys saying it's tomorrow? Everyone was saying.
Dude, they're messing with you.
Okay, so it's in
I think they pushed it out. I think it was tomorrow. Because I saw this and I was about to take a trade on it and I didn't take a trade on it because it had earnings. I think they pushed their earnings out.
Why would they postpone it?
It's not usually good.
It's just weird, right?
I'm not saying Netflix is going in investment phase. I'm telling you guys that Netflix told you it was going in investment phase when it was at $150 or whatever, $120. They literally said that. Anyways, what was the next one?
Marvell.
Oh, I like Marvell too. It's custom silicon, but again, I like it. I like a long time, not short time. Anytime it's under 80, I'll kind of like nibble at it a little bit, but earnings coming. Yeah, I like this. There's a lot of lines on this chart, but let me try and pull this down. You know what? Green line here is fine, but this was resistance right over here, and then it broke that resistance right there, and then it became support over here, and really we're just getting really close to it right here. And also this general uptrend, if I were to take it literally from right here and draw a horizontal line, I liked it right there. Does it get back to the highs and actually break through? I don't know. Resistance on this is like decidedly up here, 98 to 96. So all I'm saying is like, can it make the trajectory back up to the highs? Because I can't say that it's going to break out through 100 yet, but this is the box, generally speaking, here that it's traded in for a while. So trade the edges of support and resistance, and this is support. So I like it, but you want to buy at support, not at resistance. That's all I can say. If I was buying Apple here now, I would be buying at what could be resistance, that prior all-time high, because that was support that broke. That's the difference. Do you buy calls on Apple at something that could be resistance or not?
By the way, Intel's up 3% because NVIDIA is working with them potentially on Feynman GPUs.
No, Intel's up 3% because we started the show with Intel's probably a buy. You don't remember that? I literally said probably a buy right here. But anyway,
that and an NVIDIA headline is really helping after hours.
Fine. Fine. But no, watch. So this 42 level, it goes way, way back. We could go make it like bright white. This chart, for whatever reason, this one chart that I have happens to have a lot of lines, but it was all of this support, 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 resistance, breakthrough, and it's this prevailing downtrend line. And you zoom into it, you kind of have the confluence of all of them right in here. So it could be choppy. This goes down to 38. But anywhere between 42 to 38, I think, is a decent spot to take another shot.
Okay, last two. Broadcom.
Oh.
Which you called nicely last week.
Yeah, I think right in here, 315s is same thing. So this is our box. You want to see this continue. It's a decent move. It's up into 340s. And we're just using, I mean, basically this area. We want to, that's your resistance. So does it come back into the 20-day? I think it does come into 340. Yeah, this looks fine. And it's consolidation. So at this point, if you can get a real move, this might be tradable, like maybe decent tradable. If it gets over the 345, it is 375, which is another bigger move. So you want to see that traversing kind of like this. It could get a little choppy around 345. That's what I'm saying. And then you want to see that 20-day hold. And if it can break that 50, it's like, boom, it's right in 375, which is retest of this. And it's the bearish zone. Bearish zone doesn't even show up until 385. So it's not bad. The broader trend on this is still up. It's just, this is what stall out look like. It just take a breather, take a breather. That's what it looks like. She took a breather. Let's see if she can get back on her feet. She'll at least try.
I'll give you 3 more and you can just do them however you want. ASML.
You're so funny, dude. So guys, how many times has he said last two? Like,
Dude, it's the people have so many requests.
3 more.
You know who takes the shit for it? I take the shit because I'm the one picking the name that then rejects the other 99 names, and people hate me after that. And I'm like, I can't do all.
If they came over to our streams on Monday, they might get a preview, and then I can tell you if they're double dipping.
No. So let's actually do that right now. If you are not following Jason on YouTube, on Monday, if you desperately care about TA for a name, it'll be way easier because there's going to be less people and you'll have a better shot.
Yeah. And I don't really miss any names.
Yeah, because he's there for an hour and a half, but just with us,
2
there's
hours,
so many.
I did like it's this plus some weekly planning.
All right, so that solves the issue. If you have a name,
how about you come over next Monday?
That's really tough because it's after the market open, and it's very tough.
No, just plan it.
Well, definitely not next Monday because with the meetup the day after. But we will do dude, it's just really hard after the market open. Like it's like impossible.
You join from your walk on your phone.
Oh, I don't go on a walk. We'll figure out a day, but it's dude, at 11:30, like my day actually starts.
I feel you.
But if you need a ticker, go on Monday to Jason's channel. You'll get a lot more of an ability to get your ticker requested. So for today, you pick the last ticker in the chat, whatever one you want to do.
Me?
I'll let you pick it. Yeah, you're gonna get all the shit.
We had 3. You said we're last 3. So what were the?
There's like 20. There's Shopify, ASML, Duolingo.
Last time we did Shopify, we said it's gonna take a breather. It's taking a pull back. It's gonna pull back. This is at 1:30. I want to look at this.
You got to pick one ticker. Don't go through it. You got to pick one ticker now to end it up.
No.
Okay. So then we're going to be doing 5.
My trades are net short today, guys. I went short on Apple, Oracle, and Dell.
Okay, but you need to pick a ticker to end this out.
Or
I'll pick the ticker for you. I'll just pick the ticker for you.
Oracle.
Okay, Oracle. That's the last ticker.
Is it?
See, he's gonna do like 5 more. He says I'm the one who gives him multiple tickers. He's gonna do all
we're
of them.
good. I was just joking because I'm totally cool with it.
All right, Oracle. There you go.
Oh, and the Oracle did not look good. Not look good. No, it's too bad. They don't even have earnings anytime soon, and people are scared about this. I really think that we could be seeing like an entire pullback. So Oracle needed to have its butt saved. It had to get saved, technically speaking, at 198. The second it lost this 198 right here, it's like short every pop right now from a trading perspective, and losing this 170 level here. Then we start to talk about like pulling back into this area, which is 160s, which is what I have a target to the downside on. That's your next stop right in here. So that could go deeper. I just don't want to speak to this 145 level yet, but unless she can get back over 185, I don't know. It's not looking good. Near term trading, not investing. I closed my Roblox. SLB.
I told you guys.
I went long SLB. I've always liked my slob. We call it slob for short, Slumberger. These are my tickers. These are not emit tickers. But this guy, this is a weekly chart on the slob. This guy over this area, nice breakout. From here, we're actually at like pretty decent breach, meaning like if this goes any higher right now, then I know we're going to 60 and retesting up in here. But more importantly, what I'd be looking for is a larger, so this is oil services, not oil itself, oil services. I'm looking for 75s, maybe higher on the full cycle bounce. That would be great through the end of the year. But near term, it just reported earnings. And so usually I want to give it one shot to actually breach through. And I think, here's earnings right here. And the high of the actual earnings report takes you right over here to 150 to 50. So if she can hold this $50 from that earnings pre-market high right there, I think this can get up and go. I took longer dated into September just because it is a slower mover, but oil services I like a lot in this general area. You got more?
I have
PSCG.
Oh, we gotta end it. Oh, we gotta end it. We gotta actually end it.
I'm long Pure Storage. I'm a Puritan. We call the Pure Storage people Puritans. This is SSD, but they resell Micron, Western Dig, Seagate. Those pieces go into their box, so their margin's probably a little bit compressed because it's not like they're making it. They're buying it from Micron, Western Dig, Seagate, and it's a big, giant hard drive that goes into your data center that's made up of SSD. But their products are probably going through the roof. But it's also like a hard requirement. That NetApp, very similar, both enterprise grade storage. We could see NetApp, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not in NetApp yet. This one's usually a later mover, but PSTG for the Puritans out there, break, retest of the $70 level. I'd like to see a bounce. Cool. Fine.
Okay. So once again, no, it's good. It's good that we're saying this. If you because there's so many tickers we don't get to every week, even if we were to go for another hour. So if you really want a ticker, go to Jason's channel every Monday, even if I'm not there. I don't need to be there because Jason's running the show. You can request your ticker, and he will likely actually be able to take your ticker.
Yeah, or you can just jump in the server also where it's free. And I don't stream for free. Like if you want to jump on a call and you want to join the apprenticeship. Look, I stream literally all day, every day. Not only will you get to ask me about your ticker live intraday, I'll be trading it and you'll see my screen as I'm taking trades live intraday. But
yeah. I mean,
that's you're literally trading. You're literally sitting down next to me and trading with money. But yeah.
Yeah, again, it's really tough to do all these tickers on one stream. But again, Mondays, absolutely, that's the channel you want to go to, put in the chat. And then if you want more, even live coaching or like very specific stuff, his Twitter has the Discord in the link.
Yeah, so Discord's free. And then it's if you want to like that, and that's got a lot of sauce in it. And then if you want to learn to trade, then we have the apprenticeship.
Yeah. Dude, thanks for thugging it out. I mean, it looks like he has energy. He could go for another 2 hours. He's got the energy.
I mean, you're all prepping them for like a 30-minute technical Tuesday. And I'm like, no, I think I'm okay. I'll deal with it. But I mean, you can probably tell in my voice, it's different. It's a little different, but I mean, I'm pretty loaded up on meds right now. Hopefully I'm not.
That's what I'm saying. When I'm sick and I have to do a stream and talk, like it hurts. Like I get it. So I don't, I don't want to screw you over for like 4 hours.
But I don't have a lot of, I don't, my body is not like, I kind of like, what's the word I'm trying to say? I thrash it. I run it till the wheels fall off. And that's when I usually take a break if the wheels actually fall off. But,
all right. We'll be live tomorrow. Tomorrow's a big day. market open,
Big,
FOMC, and then big tech earnings. So tomorrow I'll basically be live for like 10 hours. And
yeah. Hey, welcome to the club. And if you guys weren't wondering my voice, it's because anybody who's in my server, I am literally live like this all day long, 6:30 a.m. Pacific to like the close, like market open to market close most of the time. And if I'm trading and I win something, I'm screaming at the top of my lungs like most of the time. So, yeah, there you go.
Dude, I never asked you this. Do you day trade or are you mainly option trading? No. So will you buy like, I don't know, 1,000 shares of stock at 50 and then sell it at 51? Like, do you do that or no?
Not equity, that I'll use options for.
Okay. So you mainly do that.
Yeah, it depends on, I'm an options trader. So I'm primary. It depends on the market environment, but like if I can swing, I would defer to swing trading. Like if the market environment is good. Right now we're at targets. So like I'm basically trimming out my existing swing trades and kind of like letting it breathe a bit. And a lot of things like a Tesla, if it's in a consolidation phase, I will day trade the crap out of that. You know, Microsoft, this counter trend bounce. I mean, it's 4% move the other day. My day trades are, when we do good when we day trade, it's usually good, usually. But like you will get like, I don't want to say this out loud. People won't believe me, but you'll get like 1,000% wins intraday on stuff like this all the time.
I mean, with certain options, it's possible. It could happen.
Yeah. Dude, and what about these new 3 days, three expirations per week?
It's gonna be big for her.
Yeah, well, you're right. I didn't even think about that.
With a lot more volume, which is good.
Yeah. The day trades, intraday trades, you will get 1,000% wins all the time, but that means that you're sizing smaller also. It's high volatility. So you don't need a lot of money to make a lot of money. That's what's kind of cool about it. There's a problem when people think that they want to put a lot of money into those kind of trades. That's not what you want to do. You don't need to. But yeah, that could be really bullish, Amit.
I think it could. I think it's bullish. I just think if crypto doesn't come back, that's where the street is going to keep disrespecting it. But
yeah,
I think we'll be okay long term.
I'm not worried about long term. I'm just worried about like, am I going to get too greedy waiting for the dip? Like that's more like what I'm worried about. But yeah, I think it changes the dynamics for sure on options trading overall. Once we got 0-day SPX and SPY, it changed the way that the Greeks worked for a lot of those option chains. And so I'm a little hesitant because some of those tickers like the Tesla, Meta, Microsoft, whatever, the ones that are getting those three time a week expirations, the decay might accelerate differently now on your expirations. That's what happens. So I got an unusual activity alert on the server. It means like probably a bunch of you guys are joining, so I appreciate that. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah,
again, the link for his server in his Twitter, I'm putting that right there. You can check him out on YouTube as well, where Mondays he streams every week. You can get a lot more ticker requests. And I'll be live tomorrow. I got a ton of things tomorrow. It's going to be a big day for the markets, FOMC and big tech.
Cool.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Bye, everybody.